What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Morphs. I'm Jeremy. Thank you for tuning in with me tonight. Tonight we have Dave from JDH Reptiles. I don't know if any of you guys are following him or not. If you're not, all of his information is in the description down below. Make sure you follow his YouTube channel, his Instagram, everything. He's working with some amazing stuff, awesome projects, even some stuff that a lot of people aren't working with, which I think is what makes him like his lorry projects. There's not many people that I know of that's working with lorry, and his lorry stuff is amazing. So we're going to touch base with that tonight as well. But everybody help me welcome him to the show. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked to have you on tonight. You've been one that I've been really wanting to get on here for a little while. Just had to chew down through my list.
Yeah,
I have a list about it doesn't even fit on screen how big the list is.
Well, we had talked about this a couple months ago, and I was going through the, getting married and everything, and it's just like, man, it was good because you had, like you said, your list going on. So I'm like, that's great. Put me down there towards the bottom. We'll get super busy.
Oh, dude, I believe it. I get you on that one. Let's go through and give a couple shout outs here. We've got Jose Bosa Balls Jr. What's up, Jose? I saw some pictures of you at Daytona. Looks like you guys were having fun. Really jealous of you guys that were down there at Daytona. I wish I could have been there. We've got John from Incubator. What's going on, brother? We've got Kevin from 4S's. Kevin, I hope you're enjoying your little light stand thingamabobber that you got done up with your logo and stuff. It looked badass, bro. Kenneth, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? Phil, what's up, brother? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all your support, bro. And we've Rob. What's going on, Rob? Thanks for tuning in. Straight Blast, what's up? Thank you. Hensler's Pythons, what's up? You're a new face, I do believe, to the chat. Welcome and thank you for tuning in and for all the support. Dominique, what's up? Let's see. Nicole, what's up, girl? Thank you for all the love and support. Greatly appreciate you. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Nicole at Lady Tiz Exotics, please go do so as well. She's almost to that 1K point. Let's get her to the 1K. I'd love to see Nicole hit 1K ASAP, folks. So go check her out. She does an awesome live stream every Saturday. Just go check her out. Give her some love. She really deserves it. Mitzi, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Jeremy and Holly. You guys just got home from Daytona too. Jeez, I'm jealous of y'all. Ed, what's up? Ed is also the guy that makes these awesome LED things and and custom PVC enclosures, which, Ed, I sent someone your way. Or wait, did I send them your way yet? I don't remember if I sent them your email yet or not. I think I did. But if I didn't send them your way yet, I'm sending them your way. Things have been busy, folks. Things have been busy. Just like this chat. Clint, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Jordan, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. Kai, brother, what's going on? Awesome video today. Love those OD combos. Curious to see how they grow up and everything else like that, because some of those ODs were nice. All right, that catches us up. Oh, Kent, what's up? How did I miss you, Kent? Thanks for the shout out on your live. So everybody, if you guys aren't subscribed to Kent, check his channel out. He does a live stream right before my live, actually. So I always hit his live and then hop off a touch early and get ready for mine. All right, so we've got 20 in the chat watching. Thank you, everybody, for all the love and support. Dave, let's get to you, brother, because that's what we're here for.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as far as JDH Reptiles goes, Jamie and I started this in 2018, but prior to that, my experience goes back to like 1998 when I started collecting for the first time. Never thought about breeding or anything, but I've had everything from, I've had some berms, I've had boas, even we have hog noses now, but I used to have hog nose in the past as well. I did have a couple ball pythons back then, but the only thing I saw back then that really interests me was pieds. I mean, that was when the pied craze started with ball pythons, and I thought that was the most amazing thing in the world. So that was what kind of kept me interested for all these years. And then when we decided,
pied still catches you. I said pied still, like, they wow the world still, no matter how long they've been around. They're still one of those snakes that, that's the first one that hooks somebody.
Yeah, I mean, definitely my favorite morph or my favorite gene, I say, would be piebalds, but we don't work a lot of them. And I think mainly it's because on the business side of it, you start jumping into multiple genes with the combo, and you can't tell what anything is. So I try and stay clear of doing too much with our pied work. Plus, we have absolutely awful odds with pieds. So it's kind of a love-hate thing. But yeah, I mean, it's been I think everybody in this, as a kids, you like dinosaurs, you liked watching, like the Crocodile Hunter and Corwin and all those guys. And it's just something that's always been a passion. And then when I met Jamie, we got together and we started talking about this stuff. She used to work with the local wildlife around here. So it was kind of like a win-win for both of us. We enjoy it, and we jumped right in head first. So
nice. Kai says, did we talk about the green walls?
Green
I
walls.
didn't think about that, but I forgot that we have like exactly matching green walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. So what made you guys decide to go from hobbyist, or maybe you still consider yourself hobbyist breeders, but going from just hobbyist keepers to actually breeding? Like what was that push?
It's definitely the passion for wanting to do it, first of all, because that's got to be there first of all. I mean, there's no way you're going to come in here and clean crap and wipe up cages, and like we also breed our own rats. You can't do all that and not enjoy the hobby and enjoy doing what you do, plain and simple. But obviously the financial side is there too. I mean, it would be great if we could do this full time. I pretty much do. I mean, I did retire last year per se. However, I work harder now than I ever have. I mean, I still do mechanic work on the side. I in here every day, many hours a day. Plus, we got the rats we do. So I mean, it's definitely a full-time job on its own. But it was just trying to eventually find that that way to enjoy life outside of working 9 to 5 all the time. And not getting any younger, that's for sure.
No, I totally get that, because I'm ready to quit my 9 to 5, and I know I'll be working harder down here. Not only I'll be doing more YouTube stuff, because you put out a lot of YouTube content as well. But you've got the YouTube. I'll probably then start working with rats. So that'll basically build up to where, like you said, you're working a full-time job with that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going with any luck in the next year or less, I would like to double our rat output, because ultimately, I mean, if you're going to be down there doing all that work as it is, there is a lot of money to be made in rodents. And, it's a lot of work regardless. It doesn't matter if you've got 3 racks like we have or 6 racks. You're still going to be dedicating multiple days a week to taking care of that entire collection as well. Might as well not only be able to always feed ourselves, but then also supply for other people. There are not a lot of small-time breeders around here for rodents. So, trying to avoid the $6, $7, $8 a piece at the local pet stores.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's one thing. Like I have 1 pied that only wants live mice. I have 1 pied male that only wants live small rats. Those 2 combined, I hate going to the pet store and paying for the prices, but it's so much easier than just going to my normal rat people once a week that are 20, 30 minutes away instead of just going 10 minutes down the road.
Yep. No, I agree. We don't breed mice here, and every year we've always got. I think I still have probably at least a half dozen or more that are on mice, and I got two of them been on mice for a year. That's just they don't take anything else. So same thing. I just go next door and I spend the ridiculous price to get a dozen mice, and it is what it is. But
it's so aggravating. Like even like I have 2 clutches that are in the racks right now. All of them, except for the second clutch, just got in there. But the first clutch, they're all eating frozen thawed rat pups already, except for 2 of them. 2 of them want hopper mice. So they're again going to the pet store to get hopper mice for them. Clutch 2 just got in there, and one of the babies actually did take a frozen thawed rat pup. No. Didn't get a rat pup. Got the one hopper mouse that one of the other snakes didn't eat today.
okay.
So yeah, it's just, I try to get everything where it's frozen thawed. It's so much easier and cheaper for me just to keep them in the freezer.
Definitely. If it wasn't for us having our own rat collection, I would definitely do the same thing. But I mean, with 200 animals and the rats just in the barn outside, it's so much easier to go grab a tub and feed live through the whole collection.
Now, how many rats are you producing roughly?
Per week, I would say we're producing maybe 300 plus. The problem is we don't keep anything larger than like a weaned. I mean, I feed my entire collection weaned and sometimes small. Otherwise, I mean, obviously the smaller snakes get, pups or fuzzies or whatever, but we don't feed anything larger than a small rat. So weekly, I'm taking from small rats all the way down. So we really only grow up to small rats. So right now we have a handful of customers that buy from us, but we can feed our entire collection plus typically, 50 to 60 offshoots from there for anybody locally that needs anything.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're producing enough for yourself and then some. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean every week Jamie does the rats typically. I mean, I'll help her clean every week, but she does all the breeding. She does, the feeding and the watering and switching the males in and out of tubs, but every week there's always one she pulls aside too for future breeders. So that's included as well. I mean, that's why I say figure somewhere between probably 250 and 300 a week we actually produce. So not bad.
No. I wouldn't say. I think that's pretty darn good. What's up, Garden State? Thanks for tuning in. Patrick, what's up, brother? Good to see you in the chat. If anybody hasn't done it already, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for me. Go over to Dave's channel, and all of his information is in the description down below. Make sure you're subscribed and followed to him. And just in case anybody does this, for any super chats or super stickers or whatever all those things are, all that stuff is going towards, I've decided today, I'm going to be saving all that stuff to go towards getting a ultrasound for us.
Nice.
So that is something I've kind of hit. I'm at the point where it's like, you know what? I need to get one. Things are a little tight at the moment for me to be able just to say, hey, I'm going to go get one. So I thought YouTube's the best way for me to do it. So any funds raised from the channel and all you guys support me, it's all going towards an ultrasound. So just in case anybody wants to know what those super chats and all that stuff is going towards, since you guys are also kind of getting me up to where I'm monetized now, it's going towards an ultrasound. And once that's purchased, then it's just going to go to rats. It's going to go to feeding some snakes. But I had 2 females reabsorb on me this year, and I kept hoping, like I'd throw a male in here or there, just thinking maybe that'll kind of entice them to go back to, into breed mode again. And it's had no luck. And it's just kind of like, it's like, all right, I don't know what's going on inside of them for follicle wise. So I'm kind of lost. I'm frustrated with it.
It's definitely a good tool to have.
Oh yeah, you have one, don't you?
Yeah, we have one. I don't use it
Oh,
as
thank you.
frequently as most people think that you would, but I mean, I use it in the beginning of the season, and then I typically will use it maybe 3 more times throughout the year. That's really about it. I mean, I check animals once they get a handful of months in, just to make sure they're still growing, and
Okay.
and then that's really it. Maybe one more time. I think that's really about it. I don't use it often at all, but it is nice to know, if you get a female that's stalling, or I mean, we've had, I don't know, probably 15 females reabsorbed this year.
Oh, I thought I was ouchy and mad about too.
Yeah, no, we've had a bunch. So same thing though. I don't ultrasound all the time, so maybe I could have caught it sooner. But it's nice to know. I checked a whole bunch of them, and I'm like, well, I might as well stop breeding because there's nothing there anymore. So
I would love to know what causes them to do that. If it's that they sense that there's something wrong, if they weren't getting a male at the right time.
I think it's a little of everything.
What it is.
I think it's a little of everything. The males need to be introduced at the right time. You got on top of that. If the biggest thing I always hear, which I know this ad wasn't it for me this year, but if they run out of water, supposedly that's like the biggest thing. They'll just totally be done with it. So they always say make sure water's full all the time.
So yeah, my water's always tip top, fresh. Yep. Yeah, water's not an issue here.
Humidity. Feeding. Feeding's the other thing. Like this year, I have not. I used to like double feed my females every week. I've done none of that this year on purpose because I wanted to see if that had anything to do with it, and it potentially may have. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that play a role in why a female decides to reabsorb.
So because I feed anything above 200 grams gets fed every other week. But now with me doing that, I'm making sure that what they're being fed leaves them a little lump. Now, I'm not going anything bigger than a medium rat for my big girls, but babies up to 200 grams to get fed once a week, nice size meal. But then after that, it's once every 2 weeks, but it's enough to let a little bit of a lump in there. That way, that they're full.
Okay.
And John, thank you so much, brother, for the $5 for the ultrasound fund. I greatly appreciate all your support, dude. I really do. Thank you. Chris, what's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. Intrepid, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see here. I got sidetracked. I'm good with that.
It's so easy.
What's up, Conefago? All right, let's see here. What about what are some of the recessives that you're working with?
So we're working with Sunset. Well, I should say this year. This year we're working Sunsets. I mean, if you guys have ever followed my page, I've gotten dealt a shit hand for the last 4 years on Sunsets. So
I was gonna say, I think I remember a video this year where you were hoping to hit one, and it was just
nope, nothing again.
On it. I felt so bad because I was rooting for you on it because I think I remember the year before you going for it too. And
we've 3 years in a row. Yeah, 3 years in a row we've been working that project with a bunch of supposed hets and some pos hets, and nothing at all has ever proved out. So we did buy visuals. We have a visual female that'll be, hopefully she'll be good to go this year. And then we got a visual male who is, he's currently breeding one girl. So I don't know if she'll actually go, but we also have a whole bunch that hopefully he'll be ready to go for next year. But we're working clowns, DG, hypos, everything everybody else is doing. Genetic stripe is huge. We do a lot of genetic stripe here.
Okay.
And as far as albino goes, I just stick with regular albino. I mean, we do have one Candino girl that I produced, but other than that, I don't do lavenders. So we just do regular albino.
Oh, nice. All right.
And then VPI. We got VPI also.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. We got to get you. I wish you worked with TSK, Dave. I wish you worked with
I've had a lot of people say that.
Everybody works with VPI. I need some more TSK people. I was so happy when Tish from Python Spawn put a video out that she got a set of, I think they're het TSKs, or maybe it was just that one het TSK. Either way, she's into TSK Xanthic project. So I messaged her. I was like, thank God there's somebody close.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about my Xanthic stuff, and they're like, "Oh, is that TSK?" I'm like, "Nope, VPI." And they're like, "Oh, I was wanting to try and get into TSK," and I'm like, "There are people out there, and just not me."
I say, yeah, there's not a lot of people that work with it. It's a lot of VPI stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason I went that route, but also because when we first got into the project, we got some G-Stripe het VPI Xanthic stuff. Okay. And since we were working G-Stripe anyways, it was kind of a no-brainer to already get stuff that we could put into a project. So we ran with that mainly because of that.
Jose, you are right. Xanthic everything, brother. Xanthic everything. I love me some Xanthic. Now, the joke around in our little group is, since I'm partially colorblind, Dave, and everybody got me glasses, I had to send the glasses back because I need to get indoor ones. It's that way everything doesn't have a red tint. Okay. But the joke is that once I get these glasses again, that when I look at Xanthic, I'm not going to like Xanthic anymore. It's not going to look as black and white.
You won't want to look at black and white anymore.
Yeah. I just told him to say, if it comes to the point where I decide I don't like Xanthic with the glasses on, I'm just going to take them off.
Take them off. There you go. Yeah.
It'll look just as good then again.
That's right.
Creative. I did not. Wait, did I see the TSK Xanthic acid?
I know I did.
I did. I might have to go check that out. I might have. I try to stay off of Morph Market unless I'm ready to pull the trigger on something. Just bad things happen with me in Morph Market. I get the eye once and then I spend money.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of shopping on Morph Market, so I do a lot of waiting until I know I need something, then I just buy it.
Yeah. Now, with your sunset stuff, what are some of the projects you're really excited to get the sunset into? Like jeans you're looking really forward to adding into the mix? What's going to look best to you?
So that's really tough for me to answer because that's mainly Jamie's project. Okay. And I know her idea is that she wants to get as red as possible. You know, obviously trying to avoid the brown out stages. So pastel is a no-go. Definitely don't want any pastel in it. I'd like to keep Enchi out of it. I think Enchi's going to keep darkening it up as well. I know, though, as far as pattern, though, she wants to get Hurricane into it. I've mentioned doing genetic stripe. She is like totally against it.
Totally. It would actually look really good, though. I think the G stripe would.
I think it would look real nice and bold on the top. It's really going to depend what jeans you put with it. Otherwise, the side would just get really muddy. It would probably look like crap. But like our male is a Coral Glow Lesser Sunset. So, I mean, we've already got that into it. And then the female is a Pewter Sunset. And I can tell you from experience, especially as an adult, the Pewter Sunset is just, it's not appealing at all. You can't see the pattern, and it's so dark. It's like completely brown.
Wow.
Coral Glow Lesser is beautiful. I mean, he's like 600 grams, though. He's not huge yet, but he is electrifying in color. Beautiful.
And he's the one that's breeding right now, right?
He's the one that's currently breeding, yes.
Darn it. I was gonna try to get him to pull it out, folks, but we're not gonna interrupt a snake at work.
Oh, well, he's not breeding right now. I can grab him really quick. Just a second.
All right, yeah, pull him out if he's not actually working. I mean, I didn't want you to disrupt him and screw up his mojo that he had going on there, but
no, we breed during the weekends, so we're good. So this is the Coral Glow Lesser Sunset, and he is going into blue actually.
You can see the nice oranges on him though.
Yeah, he's super, super bright. I'll grab the female too and show you the difference. It's just night and day. The female is not a good looking animal at all.
Beast, I do agree. I think the Sunset DG will look phenomenal, and it's only going to get better as it goes. Plus, your acid sunset that you said about as well. Yes, acid. We're going to get into acid too. We're going to talk about acid later on. But yes, acid I think is going to look awesome in any combo actually. But
I had to find out where she was at. I can't remember. I'm all over the place. So the male and the female.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Big difference. I mean, just almost, just like dirty mud.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not what I
would.
would.
Pattern at all. I mean, it's just all. It was for the fact that we got her as a baby and she looked nice and bright. I would have definitely double guessed what she was.
And that's what, pewter sunset.
Yep, pastel cinnamon sunset.
See, that just baffles my mind that it browned out that much. Because I always thought cinnamon sunsets are supposed to be really nice.
I'll tell you, I think it's the pastel gene. Okay. I just have not seen a good-looking pastel sunset when they get size on them.
Okay. See, sunset has caught my attention thanks to a couple of people, one being Steven and Courtney from Leviathan Snakes. They're huge into sunset. That's one of like Steven's babies right there. But he sent me a picture of an ultramel sunset, which I thought was out of this world. And I thought that you can top snake for the intensity of the orange that it had. And then someone sent me a picture of, was it a lavender sunset? I'm trying to think of what it was. I can't think of what it was thrown in with sunset, but it topped the ultramel sunset. It was out of this world with the intensity of the orange. I'm drawing a blank. I think it was a pick of the week, even maybe about a month ago. I can't remember what it was now, though.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was last sunset because Phil's remembering it apparently.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that. That I bet would be really nice looking.
It was like on fire, dude. It like glowed. It's basically the exact. I don't know if you're familiar with boas, but like the sun dragon in a boa.
Okay.
It was the exact same thing, but in a ball python. It was out.
Very cool. Yeah, I'd like to keep it as bright as possible. Like I said, Jamie really wants to try and get reds into it and see if she can get it just as red as possible.
Okay.
So I don't know where exactly all her stuff is. I know, like I said, she works hurricane really heavy too. So that'll definitely be up there on the list. She does not like sunset clowns at all. So I don't know if that's a project I can get her into or not, but I'm sure we'll try and do Desert Ghost because I think Desert Ghost will keep it nice and clean and bright. I don't know about Hypo potentially. I think Tri-Stripe would be really neat if you can get the colors to stay. Okay. But that's another one where it's going to be a toss-up. So I don't know. But other than that, like, the sunset stuff, it's just this male, hopefully, he'll stay feeding throughout the season. He's going to go to multiple females this year. And we're so far behind because of all the years we've put into this and gotten nothing. And the only chance we'll get to make sunsets this year will be when we put those two together, the male and female I just showed you. So we're going to obviously put them together, and then he's going to go to, like I said, probably 4 or 5 other girls as well, if we can keep a meeting, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what we can make, but we'll be holding back a lot of hets for a long time to make a lot more visuals.
There's going to be nothing het sunset female-wise leaving your facility at all, I'm sure.
Probably not. I would be surprised if Jamie doesn't tell me we have to get another rack just for het sunsets.
Hey, after how long you guys have been working that project and striking out on it, I completely understand and I don't disagree with it.
Yeah, we bought our first ones. I think it was like October of 2018.
Okay.
We bought 2 hats and 3 pos hats. And in that time, in 3 years of breeding, we've done, I think we've gotten 6 clutches, and we've gotten no sunsets at all. So
yeah,
Jamie's definitely like, this is the year we're going to do everything we can ourselves. We're just selling everything too. Like we had that clutch that you were talking about that we had a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
The male was actually, it's a pos hat, but it came from Brock in a clutch that made visuals, and all of them, the lessers, the calico, and the normals, all of them were super, super dark. They're almost like chocolate. And I had someone tell me, dude, they're probably het sunset, or some of them probably are. And we literally just sold all of them in one shot to somebody. Like, it was cheap. I'm like, nope, we didn't make any. We're just going to get rid of everything we have. That's it. We're done. We're not playing the game anymore. We're going to make our own hats, and we're going to go from there. That's it.
Sometimes I think that's sometimes I think the best way to go about it. Like I probably would have been frustrated before this point. I give you applause for going as long as you have with, striking out like that. I would have been getting frustrated and be like, no, we're not playing this game.
Yeah. Well, we bought this female we bought 2 years ago. We got her as a baby. Okay. So, I mean, that's the only reason why we've waited. And then we were finally able to get a male. Every time we would message people about a male, they'd get a clutch. Oh, I got sunsets. I'm like, how much for the male? I don't care. Just tell me what you want for it. Well, it's sold already. And I'm like, crap. So big shout out to David Levinston. We talked to him a couple times over the last couple of years. And back in Tinley in October last year, he had this boy was hatching a couple days before he left to go to Tinley. So he couldn't bring him with him. But he said, if you want it, it's yours. I don't know what there is yet. I haven't even sexed him yet. And 3 days later, he called me. He said, this is what I got. Give me a day to get an idea on a price, and I'll let you know. And he called me and said, here it is. And I said, I'll take it. I don't care. Yep. I'll pay for it right now. And when it's ready to ship, just ship it. I don't care. It's
take my money.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. I got a fair deal. I can't complain. And I was super happy to pay it and be done with it.
Oh, yeah. And plus, I mean, like you said, like you've invested all this time. So now it's time to, just get in there and do what's going to start making you the money in that project, since you've spent so much other time not getting it.
Yeah. Well, and the money up front. I mean, we did spend a lot of money on all those hets that never proved.
Oh,
I've counted it up. All of the animals that we sold from all those clutches didn't even pay for like a quarter of what we spent on all those animals.
Oh,
so literally it's been just the whole thing's in the hole. It's just dead. That's why I got to this point. A couple people were like, why didn't you keep the breeder females and put your visual male to it next year? I'm like, nope, not wasting my time anymore. They're taking up rack space. They're taking up money. They're taking up food. They're gone. I'm not playing the game anymore. If someone else gets lucky down the road, great. I'm all for it.
To them.
Yep, I'm all for it. But for me, I'm done. I've put enough investment into it. I'm walking away.
Yeah. Beast, with what you're saying here about sunset highway, freeways, and super stripes, I think a sunset super asphalt would be really nice, because super asphalt has that, I don't know, like my eyes pick up some really nice oranges and yellows. It's got some really nice colors to it. Super asphalt sunset might be pretty badass.
That probably look pretty good.
Let's see here. Chris, totally agree. Fortunately, with the hets, there's still some shady people out there. Yeah. That's why I only like buying either visuals, or if I'm buying it from someone that I know and that I trust. And or somebody that I know has bought from them several times and backs up with their, that breeder. Just I don't like taking risks. My luck sucks.
Yeah.
I try to avoid risk as much as possible on anything that I can control.
Agreed. Completely agree.
And Chris says Levison is solid. And Chris, before I forget, did the filming thing for the next sponsorship thing. So I will be, once I edit it and get out my stupid stuttering and mumbling and all that crap, I will send it over to you. And then it's just a matter of me cut and paste with pictures and all that good stuff. But I really like it. I think you're gonna like it, dude. It's awesome. And also for anybody, while I'm thinking about it, if anybody has not checked out our website, we have a website now. I think I made the announcement about it a couple of weeks ago. I might not have. But there's also a thing there to go to Chris at BNS Reptilia's Morph Market, since Chris is what I labeled him as my gold level sponsor. So go over there, check what Chris has on Morph Market. He's got some awesome stuff, folks. Make sure you go check that out. And then also go and check out my Morph Market if you're in the market for a really awesome boa. I forget the all the genes that are in it solely because remember, everybody, I don't personally breed the boas. It's my buddy Mike that does all the breeding on them, and we're kind of like a combined deal there, where he breeds them and then I sell them. But he's got some killer stuff, and this is an amazing animal. So go check it out. All right. While we're slightly off topic, I'm going to do a quick sticker shout out. So hopefully, Jose, you're here, because Jose, which is Bosa Balls Jr., everybody, said, thank you for all the support you show me. It's my pleasure, dude. Thank you for all the support that you show me. Let me put me here on the big screen if I can figure out which. I never remember which button it is to click. But he sent out some stickers, which I love this sticker, dude. This is probably my most favorite sticker out of this pack. I don't know why, but I just like it. But these are very, very cool too. That one's neat. I like how it's a pied. But awesome stickers, bro. I love them. Thank you very much for the sticker swap and for all the support you give me. I really do appreciate it, and I mean it. So make sure you guys, if you don't know Jose, check him out. Give him a lot of love and support, because he gives us as much love and support as what his dad, Kike, does. So thank you, Kike, as well. Also, we're going to dive. All right, while we're off topic, I'm just going to do picks of the week real quick, Dave.
Yeah.
Just because we're going to get into some stuff, and I'm not going to want to take breaks in between it. So, picks of the week, folks. Picks of the week. We're going to start. Well, let me get this on the right thing here. Nikes. All right, there we go. First pick of the week is from Mutation Creation. That's Billy, everybody, in case nobody knows. But Billy from Mutation Creation with an Enchy Freeway Clown. That thing's freaking awesome. I love the head on it. That head stamp, black outline, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy looking snake. I love that thing. So hopefully you guys all like that snake too, because it's freaking awesome. If everybody can't tell, I'm really hyped up tonight. I've actually gotten some decent sleep for a change. So I have extra energy for a change. Pick number 2 is this bad boy from Jeremy B, or Jeremy number 2 at Bald's Exotic Reptiles, which is a champagne coca yellow belly. Thing, it's just nuts. It almost doesn't even look real. All the ringers there towards the back end. It's got almost like a white nose going on with it. The peppering of the chocolatey looking. It's just an awesome looking snake. I really like that combo. Awesome snake, Jeremy. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then let me see here. Hold on, let me do this. And my last pick. Everybody's probably waiting for a carpet python, but there's no carpets this week, everybody. I'm sorry. Normally there's a carpet python, but I couldn't find any good ones this week that popped up on my feed. But JSA Reptiles with this awesome leopard spot nose yellow belly DG het hypo, and het clown or pos het clown G stripe. Thing's freaking awesome, folks. It's crisp, it's clean. I love the head stamp on it with that little. I don't even want to know. I don't even know what to call that U thing with. There's a name for it. I can't think of what it is. Like a tuning fork almost. It's almost like a tuning fork. That's just an awesome looking snake. I want to make one. that thing's just out of this world. So awesome snake, JSA Reptiles. And that's picks of the week, everybody. Let me do this. All right, that's back to us. Courtney, thank you for tuning in.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Courtney. Appreciate that.
That's awesome. It's always neat to see when people, stop in that have gotten stuff from you, that know people that you know. It's really, really cool. Thank you for tuning in, Courtney. Appreciate it. Grim de la Clutch, thank you for tuning in. What's up? You got the right guy handling your IG. I was gonna say something. My brain's going a mile a minute, and I just lost it. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I had a really neat little experience today at the pet shop that I go to. Took my daughter there just to go get the mice and stuff. We always have to go around looking at all the fish and snakes and lizards and all that stuff. And I was in the cashier's line getting checked out, and this cashier behind me comes up and says, "Hey, do you breed ball pythons?" So we got to talk a little bit, and it was just really neat interaction. Someone that I didn't know, just sitting down having a quick little convo while they were technically working, but it was really neat.
It's always fun to do.
Oh yeah, and I love doing it at reptile shows too. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So here's why we did all that stuff, because we're going to get into some of these projects that you're working on. And let's talk first about your lorry project, Dave, because there's not many people working with it. So tell us about the lorry. What does it do? I know you've got some examples of it. Hopefully you can show off some of the examples.
Yeah, I've got some around. I'm still not positive whether or not lorry is the same as het red axanthic. We'll put that out there right now. I heard a lot of people think it is. I know some people who work het red axanthic, they're completely opposite. They say, no, this is totally different. And we have a het red axanthic yellow belly female that I was trying to breed our super lorry to, but she reabsorbed this year. I wanted to see if we can make a super out of those two and put it to rest. I don't think anybody's done that. But regardless, I highly love the lorry project. It's amazing in so many combos. It's great to have. We have one that's a cinnamon lorry, which is allelic because lorry's in the 8-ball complex.
Okay.
We have an Enchi lorry, which I have proven multiple clutches that it's allelic, which makes sense because Enchi's allelic with black pastel and cinnamon and all that. All I've been really trying to do more than anything is make some recessives with it. So we've got a lot of hets. We got a lot of double hets. And I've really sold the majority of all the offshoots. So we've got some het albinos. We've got some double het G-stripe axanthic lorries. Hopefully we're going to make albinos this year. I'm trying to make albino onyxes. So a lorry black pastel albino.
Okay.
Let me grab a couple though, because I do have some. I've actually got a couple of girls that are like 1,300 grams.
So you got some size.
Oh yeah, I've been in this for, I think I started breeding 19. So a lot of these are 2020 females. So let me grab a couple and I'll show them off.
Kent. God, Kent. Dave, Kent says you have a beard he can trust.
Yeah, baby. All right, so this is a single gene lorry. And
wow.
this girl here is het albino. I've got two of them. We've kept two of them just in case one for some reason doesn't want to lay. Hopefully we have a backup for this season. We'll have two girls that will be breeding this season.
Okay.
And then from here, I'll just set her right here. We'll add Enchi to that, since everybody, it seems, works Enchi.
See, yeah, Enchi everything. I gotta agree with everybody. Enchi everything.
So Enchi gives it like a brick red color.
Yeah, as I say, it changes that tone in it, and it does some a little bit more goofier things with the pattern too, it seems.
Yep, and on the head, you get this solid little spot. I don't know if I can get the light on it, but there's a little circle right at the very top of the head.
Yep.
That'll come up on all the Enchi lorries I've ever produced.
Oh, okay, nice.
So really neat. And then going from there, the next thing, we'll grab another one here.
Now, I thought or at least maybe these are comboed with lorry, but I thought I had seen some lorry combos that when they're little, they're like silvery, like almost not quite exantic, but almost exantic looking.
So when they first come out of the egg, they look very silvery. And then once they have their first shed, they start to blacken up. See here, but the supers look exanthic. And I've got one.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I'm just trying to find where this boy is.
Husbandry Pro. How do you like Husbandry Pro, Dave?
I don't use Husbandry Pro. I actually use Reptile.
That's not Husbandry Pro?
Nope, I use Reptile Scan.
Okay, all right. Dang, okay, I was wrong. I saw it because the way you have yours set up is basically the exact same way that I do mine. So that's why I just assumed it was Husbandry Pro.
No, but I got into it before Husbandry Pro came out, and I never transitioned over.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, if you're at 200 animals, I would not want to have to input info for 200 snakes all at one time. That would drive me nuts.
Yeah, it's not fun, that's for sure. So unfortunately, my super is in shed, but the pattern on this thing is
that's nuts. Oh wow,
absolutely crazy.
That is nuts. Holy crap.
And then I'll show you probably one of my favorite ones I've produced yet. It's got to be this girl here. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a lot of pattern because of the pastel, but this is what I'm actually shooting for an albino. This is a pastel, black pastel, lorry het albino.
Now, you hatched that, didn't you?
Yes. Yep, we hatched this.
I think I remember that egg cutting.
Yep, this was last year's.
Okay.
And 2 years ago, we produced one, but it was severely kinked in the egg. So we did the pairing again because I really wanted to get one. And this girl came out just absolutely flawless.
I see, that thing's stunning, dude.
So she's beautiful.
I would, in all honesty, I would get into the lorry project just to make that snake. To make that snake. That thing's just, it's crazy looking.
It's so cool. And like I said, when we first produced it and it was all mangled up, unfortunately, right when I saw it, I go, we're doing this again. We have to. That, so far, I mean, in my opinion, it's better than in its own way, it's better than the super. I mean, it's just amazing, the interaction between the two. Without the pastel, I think it would have been a little more visual. The pattern would have been a little more visual instead of as broken up as it is. But
I like it being broken like that. I really do.
Yeah, I'm hoping when we get the albino in it, the contrast will be really nice. Hopefully, we'll be able to see more of the pattern with the color. So we'll see. She'll be breeding probably another year yet. Still, she's definitely not big enough to breed this year, but we do have some head albino males that are breeding to, matter of fact, to her mom, which is a black pastel albino. So
yeah, she's stunning, dude. She is absolutely stunning. I think acid would go really good with that as well. That would make that pattern even crazier.
that is actually on the docket for next year. To do acid with it. The biggest problem is our acid. The only male we have is an acid highway, which you would think would not be a problem, except for the fact that we have a lot of yellow belly complex stuff, and I want to try and branch a lot of these projects outside of the highway. So, and the problem also is, like, for instance, we've produced an Orange Dream Acid Highway female, which is amazing. She's super, super bright. Looks great, but it's a female. It's a couple of years we got to wait on her. And then we produced a pastel spot nose acid highway and a spot nose acid highway, both females. And I produced them last year, so they're still babies, basically. They're not growing for nothing. But we haven't produced anything really nice that's been a non-highway combo and a male. So every year we're basically hanging this boy out to do his thing with multiple females just to try and get further and further into the project.
Yeah. Grave Genetics. Hey, Chris, I need some help. I cut one egg on Friday. Clutch had 4 slugs, 1 good egg. The female is pewter virgin, only paired to my VPI clown, and the baby is all white. There's got to be something else floating in those two then to make an all white snake.
Has the baby come out of the egg yet? I just wonder if it's going to make it. Maybe it's, if the others were bad eggs, I wonder if maybe this one's going to be underdeveloped.
Oh, that could be. That could be.
Otherwise, yeah, I mean, there's got to be something else floating in there. But I can't even think with a pewter what's going to make a white snake.
Well, yeah, there's nothing with a pewter, but I'm trying to think of what can hide in pewter kind of undetected.
I mean, something in the, like a lesser maybe. A lesser pewter. No, it has not made it out of the...
Just cut on Friday. I'd be interested. You'll have to post some pictures of that on like IG or something creative. I'd be interested to see what that is. And the other thing is post the pictures of mom and dad, and maybe someone missed something in the IDing of mom and dad, and maybe you got it at two different hidden genes in there. But yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what's going on with that. Ooh, what do we got here? What do we got here?
This is going to be I believe this to be an Enchi pastel lorry. And this would be 100% double het for Xanthic and genetic stripe.
Oh, that'll be nice.
So this was the one I was looking for earlier.
I like the pattern on that.
Yeah, and for once, it isn't completely browned out like most pastels. It kind of kept a little bit of the color to it. I've got a female somewhere too, who's she's in here somewhere. She's like 1,500 grams, and she's still super bright.
Oh, okay.
Like super bright, and she's just a pastel lorry. I just moved everybody a couple weeks ago. Once the majority of the breeding has been done for the year, I start shuffling animals around, and I don't know where I put her at.
Danny, what's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in tonight. He says that looks like his pastel lorry het clown female that he has.
Yeah, they definitely keep the color pretty well. Het clown, I'd like to see it in a clown for sure. So if you make a clown, make sure to send me photos of that.
Hear that, Danny? You'll have to get on that and get that girl to fat camp, put some size on her. We joke around with Danny about how it's like fat camp at his house, because I mean it's like he's got some huge females. I mean, they're not fat by any means. They're just huge females.
Nice.
we gotta just joke with him that if his house is fat camp. His lorry same as het red. We were actually just talking about that a little bit ago.
I think so. I really do. We're gonna find out hopefully by next year, but I think the biggest thing is it's definitely quality. I see a big quality difference. I mean, a lot of the combos look so similar that, I mean, they've got to be the same gene or very close. I mean, it would be almost as close to saying like cinnamon and black pastel. You know, a lot of combos, they look really, really identical, but in single gene, they look different. I don't, unfortunately, have a single gene het red xanthic to lay next to, or even a super, a red xanthic to lay next to my super. But I will say, quality-wise, I see a huge difference in like the het red yellow belly I have and any of the lorry yellow bellies I've produced. They're just way better. The lorry stuff is. So it's either a quality thing or they are different.
Okay. When I was seeing some of the lorry stuff you were, hatching out, and some of the lorry stuff Brian Barczyk was hatching out, it really caught my eye with it. And I was actually really shocked to see that they go from like that, like you were saying, that silver look as a baby, and then they start getting darker that quick. I was kind of expecting that they kept that silver look a little bit more at least.
Yeah, but, no, usually within like 2 sheds, especially like a single gene. I mean, they are just black, and they are the darkest of dark, even to adults. I like that female I showed you. The alien heads are nice and crisp and clean, but the blacks are just the blackest of blacks.
See, I think that with that, xanthic would be a good thing for that. I think with your xanthic project, throwing that in, that's going to be awesome looking.
Yeah, that's hopefully will be on the horizon this year as well. So we'll hope to hit some of that.
All right. Kai says Brian said lorry and het red are different.
Yep, I talked to him about that before, and that's what he said was they were different. So hopefully we can get some solid answers next year.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see. I know it's one thing. Because I'll be honest, I've never looked at lorry on Morph Market or anything, but what do lorries go for in general for anybody that's thinking about getting into the lorry project?
Depending where you get it from, I'm going to say is a big difference. When I first got into it, I bought some of my stuff. The first one I purchased was that Enchi lorry, and I got it as a hatchling male for, I don't know, $300. What was that? Like 3 years ago. And I've got the female, a cinnamon lorry female. I want to say we paid like $700 or $800 for her, and she was about 600 grams, 800 grams. So it was fairly inexpensive, but I can't keep it. I mean, if I even post pictures online, people want to buy it instantly. I mean, the price for them, if I see any good examples out there, I mean, they've gone up substantially. I can get $700-900 for like a 2-gene combo. I think there was a lorry het albino female I sold for like $900. I mean, the market right now is anybody that wants it, it's just going to end up paying for it because there's none out there.
Yeah.
Even Barczyk, he'll put a bunch up from time to time, And I mean, his single gene or 2 gene animals are $500-600 a piece. So with no hets or no recessives. So,
so it's not. I mean, see, that's something that I was actually kind of surprised that it's not that expensive to get into. That it's actually an affordable project. So I know there's some projects out there that they're just crazy, but that's one that, like that one you were showing off there, that all silver that has a crazy pattern to it. I mean, heck, that's well worth just getting into that project just to make that snake.
yeah, the thing is it's such a. It reminds me a lot of like pinstripe and stuff to the point where it's so dominant. I mean, I hit multiple lorries every single time in every clutch, and the pattern is so overpowering that if you like that busyness, all you gotta do is hit it with any combo, and it's you're gonna be super bright and look like that, or it's gonna be even crazier. You know, I want to see it with spot nose. I think it looks sweet with spot nose. I think that would look really nice this year. We're going to be hitting. So with that cinnamon lorry, I got a clutch coming out in a couple weeks from a Coral Glow Super Butter. So I'll have hopefully everything will be butter and cinnamon or butter and lorry. And then hopefully I'll have a lot of Coral Glows too, because I really want to get Coral Glow into the lorry project. I think that'll help brighten it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'll be nuts looking because cinnamon Coral Glow, cinnamon banana stuff is amazing. But yeah, wow, that'll be nuts looking. Now
it'll be nice to see what the butter does with it too. Like if it tones down the pattern at all, or if it really wreaks havoc on it.
Yeah. What's up, Jack? Thanks for tuning in. Danny says he thought Sean said in his podcast that they were the same. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, I think it goes back and forth. I don't know if anybody's technically proved it yet. And like I said, I was trying to, but my girl reabsorbed. But we will find out soon enough.
Now, has anybody thrown GHI into the mix with Lorry since Lorry is such a dark gene?
Not that I know of.
Oh, I think that would be awesome too because GHI is so dark and it has that wicked pattern to it.
Yep. I have seen it with Het Red, and it looks really good. So I can only imagine that it should look really good with Lorry as well, especially if you keep some of that bold pattern and black lines. It should look really good.
I might be hitting you up for some Lorry stuff for next season. I can't spend any more money this season.
I don't even know what I've got coming out at the moment, so I couldn't tell you if I think I got 1 clutch, maybe 2. I'm not even sure anymore.
Okay. Will says I'll re-listen, Danny. I thought he said different and okay. Who knows? But the story behind the whole Lorry thing is kind of funny. I enjoyed that story from when Brian was going over it. All right, so that was the Lorry project. Now you're working with another project that I am going to be getting into in the very near future. Let's talk about acid, because I think acid is on a lot of people's minds.
It is, and the best part is it's the same thing as confusion. So depending on which line you want to work, the possibilities out there are limitless right now. There's some really, really nice stuff out there. I don't know if any of it's available. I haven't looked, but if you're on Facebook and you're interested in the acid project, I recommend joining the acid page and that is acid ball pythons, because this season alone, there has been multiple people making some killer 3 and 4 gene combos with acid in them. And I feel like I'm way behind, and I shouldn't be. But the stuff that's coming out is so nice. It's just beginning.
I saw, and everybody that watches the channel and the lives is probably sick and tired of me talking about this one. But what sold me, like acid and confusion, all those are amazing by themselves. What sold me on acid and told me that I had to get one was I was scrolling through Morph Market, one of the very few times I actually do, and Danny, you smart ass. But that's kind of true too. But I needed the ultrasound, Danny. But anyway, I was scrolling through Morph Market and there was an acid. All right, it was an acid leopard bumblebee. And the thing looked out of this freaking world. I mean, it was spotted. It kind of reminded, I refer to it as like the poor man's monsoon. Thing was out of this world. And right away, my mindset was, you throw Xanthic into that, knowing what the zebra bees and stuff, you're going to make basically either a silver and black speckled snake, or you're going to make a white and black speckled snake, depending on how that all interacts with the Xanthic. But it was just, it sold me on it 110%. It's like, I've got to get that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like I said, there's a lot of it out there, but there's still so many combos that are untouched. I recommend anybody interested. First of all, Will mention, why didn't anybody mention static? I've never seen it listed for sale. That's why I didn't mention it. I know it's the same thing. I apologize. It has nothing to do with Fred Kick. I don't mention it because I never see it. But going back to the project, if you're interested in acid confusion static, look on Morph Market what's out there, and then take it any other way you want, because there's so much to be done. And I'm saying just with other incomplete dominant genes, you don't even have to get into recessives with it right now if you don't want to. There are so many combos. I think they're all going to be killer. I have yet to see one that doesn't look good. Pattern-wise. I mean, acid is a pattern gene 100%. So you could go anyway. You can go into spot nose, leopard. I think it'd be great doing it with Xanthic, especially if you could get DG wrapped in there. Then it would just be like white and black, plain and simple.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Anything black pastel looks so good with it. Hell, acid pinstripes are insane. They're so awesome. I mean, it's just, I haven't found anything yet pattern-wise that doesn't look good with the acid project. They all look good.
And then you get the crazy bellies with them too at that, because they've got a wicked looking belly to them. Not that anybody really sees the belly, but it's still crazy looking.
Yep. Stay away from highways if you want the belly. I'll tell you right now. Every highway I've produced, the belly is completely clear.
Really?
Takes it right out of there. Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the head pattern, probably wouldn't know it was an acid. Seriously, it's my biggest. Justin did a video, I think it was the beginning of the season, about he produced some, and I ended up sending him photos of all the ones I produced last year, and he was like, "Yep." He said instantly right at that point, "I'm not doing any more in that project. Nothing more with the highway stuff." So it takes away. That black, like you said, on the belly is amazing. Even though you don't see it unless you show it off, it is amazing to know it's there. And when you take away that, it's like taking away half of the whole point of the gene. It really is.
That's really true. Now, can you show some acid off?
Yeah, we can. Let's see here. Start with some little stuff first. So we'll go with these two. So this is one of the females we produced. This is spot nose acid highway.
Okay.
So a little bit of lining there around the dorsal, kind of a little funky pattern around the sides there.
See, it's almost like, and then there's this all white belly.
All white belly.
That's just out of this world that it does that.
So you take this and you add pastel. It's the same thing, but lighter. But you get the nice dotting on the heads. See if I can get this girl. She's usually really nippy. So the heads get the nice dotting on them. If you look at this one, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. It's like identical.
Yep. The only difference in these two, You got the dorsal stripe on this one, the non-pastel, and then this one with the pastel, you get no dorsal striping.
But you still have that funky pixelated sides to both of them, which I think is a really neat little touch to it.
Yep, definitely. And then I'll show you the others. Everything's going to be highway, unfortunately, because that's all I've been able to keep.
That's all good, dude. It's all good. Fries, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Derek, what's going on, brother?
So this is the male, the original male that I got. And he is just an acid highway. So it's got a nice blue dorsal, blue and yellow dorsal, but clear belly again. The sides are completely wiped. But he's got the head on this one.
Oh, dude, that's freaking awesome looking.
So that's the only reason I was able to tell these two had acid in them is because of the dotting in the heads, because Spot Nose doesn't do that. But also Spot Nose did a lot different to the highway pattern, than just the regular acid highway. Yeah. So after sending some photos over to some other people and figuring it out, that's where we concluded that the one was pastel Spot Nose acid and the other one was just a Spot Nose acid highway. So they turned out really well, but the best one is the Orange Dream.
Ooh, I bet. Danny, thanks for all the love and support, brother. Greatly appreciate it. Danny said, great show as always. I watched Dave's videos when I started with this ball python crack.
Very nice. And this is the Orange Dream Acid Highway.
Oh, dude.
Clear belly, but then you got the head.
Oh, wow. That head is insane, and the orange is in that snake.
That way. It's like a little jack-o'-lantern on its head.
It does. I love it. I love it. Dude,
this thing's so beautiful. So all of these animals, it's funny, every one of these animals, besides the male, were all produced last season. But you can see the way they're eating differently. Like this girl eats everything. And then the Spot Nose acid went on rats probably, 3 months ago. And then the pastel is still on mice. So I've got 3 girls that are all technically should be within about a year of breeding. And I think I only have one that'll be ready to go in another year. And the other 2 are probably going to drag me out for another couple of years. So,
well, I know one thing. If you're producing those, I'd be happy with making those all day long.
They're definitely pretty. That's for sure. I just think you lose that oomph. That the
it is losing a little bit with it. But that thing was gorgeous.
So I'm hoping this year that we'll get some acid non-highway combos. But I don't know. We paired them up with a bunch of yellow belly stuff, so we'll see.
see what the odds got.
Yep.
Danny says he still wants to know how I pull all these great guests. Danny, it's because I tell them I am DTMG certified, so it's all because of you, brother.
That's what I heard.
I said I whether or not you would really certify me or not, Danny, I don't know, but that's what I tell everybody. Oh, Danny. Shoot. All right. We're not going to touch that one.
I was say, we'll just move on there.
We're not going to touch that one. What are some of the best combos you think for acid? Actually, hold on. Before we get into that one, between acid, confusion, static, is there a price difference between the 3, different genes of it, even though it's the same thing? But do you think one seems to be holding its value at a higher range than the others, or?
Yeah, I think so. Confusion is definitely higher, but it's only, I think, carried that way because that's what Justin works.
Okay.
So I think anytime you have one of the pillars of the community working a project, it doesn't matter, what the name of it is, it's going to carry more weight. It's going to be more valuable. And it's the same thing with the banana coral glow thing. I mean, now he's got coral glows he's put into all his clown stuff for the Scarecrow project. Now all of a sudden coral glow is like, everybody wants that. But it's just a banana. Everybody's had banana for the last 10 years,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, acid's still doing well, that's for sure. But I do feel that if you were to put the exact same combo side by side, I think the Confusion one not only will be found quicker, because I believe more people look for Confusion on Morph Market than acid, but it also, I think it just carries a better name backing it. Even though Josh Jensen's a great guy, and since he's the one that founded the acid project, that's where I bought my mail from.
Okay.
He's doing a ton to work this project. And there are a lot of other really good breeders that are doing a ton to work this project too. I just think when you got someone like Justin who has his name on a gene, it's gonna carry more weight.
Yeah, I've noticed, and this is not like, I don't even know if you can take this as a crack at Justin. So I don't mean it as a crack at Justin, but it seems like, what if Justin says this gene's amazing, the next day the price of that gene just rose a couple $100 at least.
Yep.
Just look at Desert Ghost. I mean, Desert Ghost went skyrocketing after he mentioned it on one of his videos and showing it off examples of it. Luckily, I bought mine before he did that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I didn't follow it as far back as, I guess Desert Ghost's been around for 10 years or more.
Yeah, it's
and
been
I guess
around
at
for a
one
while.
point in time, people said you couldn't sell them. No one wanted them. And now all of a sudden, if you got Desert Ghost into anything, it's quadrupled the price of that snake just by putting visual Desert Ghost into it.
Yep. I have some Het DG stuff that just hatched out. So if anybody's in the market for some Het DG males, I'll have, what is it? I think I'll have 2 for sale coming up. Some pretty neat looking snakes though. But I can't tell you what all they are because you have to watch the egg cutting.
There you go.
But yeah, Chris, Justin does kind of set the market on that one, and I think you're right with that.
And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, a guy has put a lot of time and a lot of money into this hobby. He's a great, I think, from what I can tell, he's a great pillar for the community.
Yep.
There are other people out there who have a lot of weight that don't even touch him as far as the quality person that he is. So you know what? I mean, if he's working a gene and he can, hold stuff back long enough to surprise us with 10 different things at one time, he's put a lot of money and time into it, and the market reflects it, and that's okay.
Yeah. Well, he has that eye. Like, he just knows it's a gift. It's got to be a gift that he can just look at something and it seems like he knows how it's going to interact and what it's going to do. He's got a gift. There's no doubt about that.
He's got experience. That's the biggest thing. I mean, the guy started from breeding normals. I mean, that was his thing, is taking a bunch of normal females and putting incomplete dominant stuff into it to see what it does. So, I mean, he's got plenty of experience to look at things and imagine where a project should go.
Yeah. Creative. He's going to discover a new gene called graphite. It looks a lot like spider.
Oh my God.
I love my spider stuff.
I've got some. I only keep one female at a time. That's it. I have no males. I don't keep any males. I just sold our last leopard spider breeder this year, and I held back a possible super leopard spider last year. But so it's all we do. We keep one female. Once a year, we'll breed and get a clutch with some spider in it. That's all we sell.
Okay. See, I've got a good bit of spider in my collection, but a lot of my stuff is going towards like the zebra bees. The zebra bees are a big goal of mine. And then like Orange Dream zebra bees, I think are going to be out of this world. So I've got a lot of my spider stuff is either Het DG or it's Het Exantic, Het Clown, that all that stuff thrown into the mix with it.
Nice.
Creative, if you want a spider without all the BS, like the wobbles and stuff, hit me up. We'll talk, because luckily, knock on wood, everything that I have so far spider-wise is clean and clear. It does not show any of that goofy corkscrewing stuff like that. It's I don't know if it's luck, maybe it's good luck, I don't know. But everything that I've gotten and produced so far, it seems to be pretty solid stuff. So if you do want one, hit me up. We'll talk. But yeah. Yeah, Bolt. Yeah.
Yeah, we won't go there. It's every week somebody's got a new gene out nowadays.
Well, I think the thing is there's so many people breeding now. And like they have stuff pop up that maybe was misid'd in their snakes, and they think that it's a new gene that popped up, and they claim that it's something before they've tested it on all the complexes.
Yep. Yeah, I think everybody wants to be known for something. Let's be honest. You're in this long enough, you want to have your name on something. It's part of the fun of doing it. But no one wants to wait 2, 3, 4 years to actually verify things first. They just want to throw it up there and say, look what I found, or look what I made. Actually,
I agree with you. Mark, here you go, making you where's the there we go. All right. Sorry, Mark asked to be made moderator. Made blue. I keep forgetting that I can do that while I'm running the thing. So there you go, Mark. You're blue. All right, so more into the acid stuff. We kind of took a sidetrack there.
Yeah.
What are some of the more I forget my original thing I was going to run with it before we took that slight detour. What are some of the genes you think are going to be best with the acid project?
I wondered if that was coming, so I'm pulling up my reptile scan right now to let you know what I've started on, because I've already got an idea. So the biggest thing, first of all, is I'm really, really, really hoping that I can hit some of our high white calico stuff into the acid project. So this year I did put our calico yellow belly pinstripe to that acid highway. So I'm hoping to hit calico pinstripe acid yellow belly without the highway. I think that would look really good, because acid and pinstripe look amazing. Yes. If I can get that white in there along with I got to have yellow belly, unfortunately, so we'll see how that goes with it. But that was one of them. We also paired them to a blackhead pastel yellow belly pinstripe. So I'm going to try and get real dark stuff in there, so blackhead and acid together. Ooh. I think will look really good. And
that'll be a nice, yeah.
Yeah, that should look really good. And then we already got a clutch from our Mojave yellow belly hypo. So we're trying to get hypo into it over the next couple of years as well. But Mojave and acid looks really good. I can only imagine with yellow belly added to it, it should look really good as well. So
especially because it'll just intensify everything with it. Yeah, that'll be killer looking.
Yep, that should look really good. So those are the 3 clutches that we actually have in the incubator. Actually, I take that back. 2 of them we got in incubator. The blackhead pastel yellow belly, they're still breeding, but I don't know if she's going to go or not.
Okay. Derek says he thinks that the high white calico would take away from acid. He says he thinks you would want a low white.
If it goes really high into like all the way up to the back stripe, I agree. But if I can get it to be really bright down on the bottom half of the snake, I think it'd look pretty good. I guess we'll hopefully find out here in a couple weeks.
Because and this might be what you're thinking with the two is with acid being such a strong gene that it'll push that calico down some and kind of tame it out a little bit.
I'm trying to consider potentially. So I think in my head, if you could think of like yellow belly, how it goes up the sides a little bit and gives you that blown out like popcorning. Think of that with big punches of white inside of it, almost like lace or white lace. Kind of how you get that white inside of all those holes around the sides.
Yeah.
If you can work that with the acid, I think it would look phenomenal.
Ooh,
but
yeah.
I agree. If it goes too high up, it'll disturb all of you're working for with the acid project. So
you don't know until you try it, though.
That's right.
Now, you just mentioned it. Are you working with lace as well? You are working with lace, aren't you?
Yes, we have not paired anything this year. We're going to start pairing next year. We have a pastel yellow belly lace male, and I have a black pewter lace. So black pastel lace, female.
He says, agree. Definitely going to push it down, but I think you're going to end up with popcorn white spots from calico. Yeah. I'm interested to see what you get out of it. That'll be neat to see.
Me too.
Uncharted territory.
Trying to look and see here when that clutch is due, so we maybe can all tune in to see. Let's see. Yeah, I'll figure it out in a second.
You're good.
Yeah, so many lines here of clutches. I'm not even sure at the moment.
You're good, Dave. You're good. For anybody that just joined, if you are not subscribed to Dave's channel or following him on Instagram, all the information is in the description down below. Go check him out. Give him a sub. You're not going to regret it. He's got an awesome channel, great stuff on Instagram. And while you're at it, if you're not subbed to me by some chance, hit that sub button for me as well, please. I greatly appreciate it. And for anybody that missed my little announcement, I don't even know if it's really an announcement, kind of an announcement. But for any super chats or super stickers that are donated, it's going to be going towards my ultrasound fund. So, and after we hit that ultrasound, then it's just going to go to feeding snakes. But I need an ultrasound. And I figured YouTube's the best way. Just it's kind of like going to be like a savings account kind of for me. So we're going to use all the super chats and everything and all the money that from the commercials you folks have to endure when you're watching my videos now. That's all going towards the ultrasound fund. So appreciate all the love and support. And hey, thank you very much for everybody that got me to this point. I really appreciate it. He says he needs one too. Yeah, after I did a live, or Billy from Mutation Creation, I'm on his Patreon, and we had a Q&A tonight, and I was in that for a little while, and it just really got me to the point. It's like, you know what? I just really need to figure out a way to get an ultrasound. It's gonna alleviate so many issues I'm having at the moment.
Yeah, like I said, it's a great tool to have. That's for sure.
Courtney says she just found and subscribed to Dave today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much.
All right, so now we went over some awesome genes. Let's talk about how you work your breeding season. Like, when do you start your pairings, and how often you cycle the males in and out?
Yeah, so we start figuring out what pairings we want to put together in September. The whole month. I mean, we come down here, I just do it the old school way. I get a notebook out and we handwrite every female genetically in a list. And then we write all of our males genetically in a list. We put the 2 pages side by side. And this is also a good time, and I really push this, and that is, if you're not going to work a project, or you feel like a project you've decided not to work it anymore, it's a good time to look at those breeders, whether they're males or females, and put them up for sale. Yep. So that's one thing we do every year is we look and go, okay, we try and keep 1 rack of males. So we've got 25 males to we try and breed roughly 55 to 60 females.
Okay.
The goal is to hit 50 clutches. I don't really want any more, but I got to figure at least 10 to 15% are going to reabsorb or not go or whatever.
Yeah.
But every year we look at all the males and we start checking them off first. Which ones are we not going to use at all? And is there a reason why? Are we just going to give them the year off? Or are we done with that project? Or did we produce something? Like last year was a huge year for us to hold back males. We held back, I bet we held back 25 males.
Oh, wow.
Basically almost enough to, in a year, shuffle through all of our males and get everybody freshened up.
And then just kind of upgrade all the genetics and everything else with more powerful stuff.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep, with stuff that we've produced, a couple that we bought, like when we went to Tinley in October, we were really lacking on clown. Don't know why, but we are. We're seriously lacking on clown. So we went there and we specifically bought, I think, 4 clown males. I mean, that was just that. We wanted them. So, we start that in September. In October, I start ultrasounding females. So I look back, I go into my reptile scan, and I go back. I don't even touch females that aren't at least 6 months since they last laid a clutch.
Okay.
Once they hit 6 months, then from there, I'll start ultrasounding them, and I wait until they get between 8 and 10 millimeters before I introduce for the first time. And we introduce Saturday mornings, and I check typically 2 to 3 times a day. I'll come down here every day and check on them. And I will leave my male in with my female until Tuesday, depending on the day. It'll either be morning or evening, whatever. Just depends how I feel that day. If they have not locked. If they did lock, I pull them out the next time I check them and they've unlocked. The only time I don't pull them out instantly is if, let's say, I pair Saturday morning and 2 hours later I see they're locked. If they're unlocked like 2 hours after that, I leave them in another day at least. Because, just a quickies probably didn't do much,
Yeah.
But now if I leave them in, I put them in Saturday evening, I see they've locked. And then midday Sunday, they're unlocked. I pull the male out. He's done for a month with that female. I wait a month. Plain simple. 4 weeks, I start recycling again. If for some reason they didn't lock or I didn't catch a lock, I'll repair again, and I'll do that up to 3 weeks in a row from Saturday to Tuesday until I see a lock. Okay. If after 3 weeks they haven't locked, I usually will take 2 to 3 weeks off before I recycle again. And that's kind of just the way I do it all season long. Usually after about 2 months of breeding is when I will do an ultrasound check the females from there. And on all my tubs, I write down all their, what millimeter they're at and the date every time I ultrasound them. So I try and keep an eye and make sure they're growing. And then the same thing, though. I'll wait, 2 more months, and I'll ultrasound that female again. And when they get up to 28 to 30 mils, somewhere in that area, I'll get them in for their last lock. Now, that could be 3rd time. It could be their 6th time. It really just depends how fast she's growing, and building follicles. But anytime after 30, I try and get 1 more lock in there, and then that's it. Okay. If she knows, she goes. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I stop.
Well, I've always heard everybody say that once they hit that 30 point, normally they don't go back. If they can if they hit 30, that's basically a seal deal. You're going to get something. Yeah,
you might get slugs, but you'll get something.
You're at least going to get something.
That's right.
It might not be what you want, but you're going to get something.
Yeah, and like I said, because we keep such a shallow list of males, we try and put each male to at least 3 females a year. Not all of them. There's some that only go 1 or 2, depending how young they are. But a lot of them, we try and do at least 2 or 3 females. And the moment I get up to that 30 mils, I just want to be able to pull that one girl out of their list. Yeah. Less work they got to do. Because once they go off food, and sometimes they do, you've got maybe 8 weeks before you really got to just shelf them and just say no more, because they could go from being really healthy and stout looking to thin and emaciated overnight. It seems like.
No, I get that. Grace, thank you very much for the kind words. I really appreciate that. If anybody isn't watching Gray's Reptiles, go watch his latest video. He's doing a little giveaway contest thing. It's pretty cool. Go check him out, give him some love and support, and subscribe to his channel as well. Pretty neat little contest, Gray, you got going on there. And Courtney says that the one she got that's from you was a Het DG, but she's already thinking about wanting to breed her own stuff. So that's really cool. Courtney, if you want a nice male for that Het DG, or maybe it is a male, I don't know. I'm hoping maybe you have a female, but I have a nice male for that Het DG that would be coming up for sale here eventually. But I'm excited to chat with Dave sometime and find out if it's truly just a normal Het DG or what another project has more in him. Okay.
See, so I figure she works with my daughter at the pet store next door that I get my mice from. And what happens is a lot of times when we get, normals or pastels, I sell them to them for pretty cheap. And they're always loaded with things. Sometimes they're het, sometimes they're double het, and they don't sell them for all that stuff. Most of the time, they don't even write it down. They'll just say, that's a normal. It's, $60 or $80, whatever they sell them for. I don't know. But I know she picked up one of them that it's het for Desert Ghost because we had a whole clutch that came out. I think half the clutch was all normals. And I was like, I don't want to sit on them. I get them fed, and I just take them over and say, just give me a price for a normal, whatever. They cost me too much to sit on Morph Market and not sell. So,
I feel you on that one. You're spending more money just feeding them and keeping them healthy than you are just to take that slight little hit of not getting the full face value of them.
Yeah.
Well, what does a normal wholesale for roughly? I'm just curious.
I think we sell them to them for like $30 a piece.
Okay.
I mean, so, but it's the good thing is I've dealt with them long enough where I just call her and say, I have a group of 7. You got to take them all, and she just says, okay, well, give me till tomorrow. I'll get a setup ready to go and drop them off.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I try not to bother them with like 1s and 2s. I think that's kind of a waste of their time. But on the flip side, I tell them, hey, I'm giving you a good deal, but I want them all gone. They're just taking up space. So here's 5 of them, here's 10 of them, whatever. And everybody needs I want everybody to get into ball pythons, obviously. They got to start somewhere, So let them take a normal that could be het for who knows what and let them be happy. I don't care, whatever. It helps me out too.
Oh, so, yeah. It's future. You're creating future customers.
That's right. That's right. I get people message me all the time, what do you have on your wholesale list? I'm like, first of all, I don't wholesale. I don't do it. I don't want to, and second of all, if I do, you're not going to want it because they're a bunch of normals or pastels. I mean,
it's the stuff. It's the
stuff even the people are going to the expos don't want to take with them, and so, and if I got to ship them to you, it definitely isn't worth either one of our time because by the time you have shipping into it, you're not going to make any money. So,
no, I definitely feel you on that one because, out of clutch 1, I'll be for sure having up a male GHI, a male Mojave, and a male lesser for sale. I'm still back and forth on the GHI lesser if that one's going to go because it is a female. And the bell that I'm like 99.9% sure has GHI in it is definitely staying.
Okay.
But I'm kind of torn as to, do I try to sell the GHI and the Mojave and the lesser, at a show? Just because I'll be vending my first show here in November. So they're probably going to go with me to the show. But if they don't sell there, they're probably going to go to the pet store down the road and just kind of wholesale them off. Just, I don't want to work too hard to keep them around. That sounds bad. I don't want to spend all that money, to feed them, waiting for someone to want a pet animal when it's just more business like to just go down to the pet shop, be like, hey, you guys want to buy these.
Yep. I agree. And I also, though, like, at least for me, this store, I mean, I like the way they're running it as well. It's a clean store. You know, they appear to, from what I can see, have clean animals. I don't see where they run into having problems like mites and all that stuff. You know, I would never take my animals to like Petco or PetSmart. I'd love to get people out of that whole thing in general. If you want, I get it. There are pet stores, they're always going to be around, but go to a pet store where it looks like they're trying to care for the animal, not just throw them in a glass enclosure for you to look at and buy them for way too much money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I said. This place I used to buy all my saltwater fish from too. So they've got really great, clean tanks, and all their snake enclosures are well set up. So I feel okay dropping my animals off there. That's the other part of it.
Yeah, that's kind of how this place is. They've got a little bit of everything. They've got a really nice reptile section. It seems like they've got some nice people that really care about the animals that they're selling. And it's a place, like you said, I wouldn't mind my snakes going to from there.
Yep.
But all right, let's see here. How long are you good for, Dave? We got a good bit of a list yet. I don't want to keep you up too late.
Nope. If you've got some more, let's go.
All right, we're gonna do it, folks. Because chances are it's probably going to be another 3-hour stream. It seems like 3 hours is about my usual. And
I was looking at that ahead of time. I'm like, 3 hours. Okay, I'm going to be out there until about 11.
Yeah. Basically, well, see, I had to be up at work at 5 in the morning. So 11 o'clock's kind of like my sweet spot there. It gives me enough sleep that I'm functionable and we're good.
Nope, I've worked on a lot of 6-hour nights, so I understand that for sure.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, this kind of goes back to the breeding season. This was actually a question I had someone message me on Instagram about, and I thought it was actually a really good one. After how long do you give your females like a year off from breeding, or do you just keep breeding them, and if they go, they go. If they don't, they don't?
I'm not sure if I can give you a good answer to that. And the way I say is, I don't feel like I've done it long enough with the females I have. So I have a couple girls. I just sold my longest standing female. She had been here for 4 years. My guess is she was somewhere around 10 or 12 years old, because I think the guy said he had her for like 7 or 8 years. But I bred her every year. And the problem is like with us, I'm trying to stick to that 50 clutch maximum. So like this rack here of 30 females that were all bred or produced in 2020 or 2021, when it's time for them to go into these 2 racks, that means girls have to come out of these racks.
Yeah.
So I usually get 3-4 years on my females, and then I move them out, unless there's one that's like, an absolute killer that's going to be here forever. But for me, I still would say if she's building follicles and she's eating well, I'll give her the opportunity.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thoughts were. And I basically said the exact same thing, that, as long as she's back up to weight, she's eating good, acting healthy. And if she wants to go, she's going to go. If she wants a year off, she's going to take the year off. She'll reabsorb, or just not build. They know what's good for them, and they're going to do whatever they want to do.
Exactly. And, and not only that, but there's sometimes where it don't matter what you put in with them, you're just going to get a girl who won't lock to anything. Yeah. I've had a couple. I think I've had 2 this year. I've tried. In fact, I'm looking at one right now. The one that the Sunset is going to, he's actually male number 4 for this female. And she's still sitting on she's anywhere between 18 and 20 millimeters, but she's been there for 2 months. And I mean, she got up there. I've bred her for 3 years in a row. She's never given me a clutch. Not once. And this year, we've got now our 4th male in with her. And I'm not sure if she's going to go this year or not. So
That's just nuts.
Yeah, yeah. It's if they don't want to go, they won't. Plain and simple. And so I don't worry too much about that.
Creative says you risk a female having a partho or retaining and not getting what you want or need. I kind of looked at it as well. And this, because sometimes, yeah, I look at things as like I'm starting to get that business frame of mind, or trying to get that business frame of mind with it as well. But if she's in the rack and if she's not producing, she's not, she's taking money, she's not pulling her weight.
Yep.
It sounds kind of like tough love, I guess, but I love all my animals, but at the same token, I'm at the point now where you gotta pull your weight a little bit in order to stick around. Granted, there's some snakes here that will never leave just because I have sentimental value with them.
Yeah, for sure. I always tell people when I try and separate business and the hobby is look inside the tub. Does it look like they're well taken care of? That's the part that tells you that I'm doing it for the hobby side of it. On the business side of it, I'm with you. They still got to carry their weight, though. You can't keep costing me money every week and do nothing for me. There's got to be a point where you say, look, it might be my setup. It might be the way my room is set up. It might be maybe she just will never lay eggs. Or it could be that I sell her to the next person and he gets a clutch of 15 out of her. Whatever. It is what it is. But there's got to be a point where I think, like that girl, after 3 years, if I don't get anything this year, she will probably be one of them we'll be looking at the end of the year going, do we want to do this again next year? Really? Because she's just taking up space otherwise.
Creative has a good one here. I think it was Bob Vu that said the snakes cost $10 per week each. And if they're not paying rent, they're out. I like that.
That's funny to think about because you figure that's $520 a year. So depending on what that girl is, if she can't give you that money back and then a profit on top of it, she's an expense.
Yep, exactly. And granted, I mean, like my killer bee girl, she'll probably never leave here just because she was one of the snake that I dreamt of owning for years. Excuse me. But then she was our first snake that we got for Morphs. Like she's basically what sparked this whole thing into what it is now. So she's got it played safe. I mean, she's produced some hellaciously stunning babies as well. So she's definitely not going anywhere. And if she starts, not laying or whatever, hey, she's always got a home here. She's that one that is definitely never leaving.
I think everybody's got at least one that you look back and you go, I don't think I could ever get rid of you.
There's a couple of those milestones or those dream snakes that you make. Some of those are pretty safe.
Yep.
Like the first of your dream snake, put it that way.
I agree with that.
Most of our snakes with the expectation of a handful, they're for a purpose. That is, yeah.
Yep.
Put an acid to her, she'll pay for a lot of rent. Yeah,
exactly. You're right there. Put acid to her, and she'll pay all 3 years in one clutch.
Yep. Yeah, that's one. Like acid is all of them. Acid confusion. All of those are some pretty pricey things, just because they're considered dominants, right? Because there's no super, is there?
I'm trying. I thought there was a super confusion, but maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't looked into it that far. I'm trying to get something that I can build off of still.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I thought that was a really great question. I forget who even sent that message to me, but I thought that was a really great question. I even told him, I sent him right back. I was like, you know what? It's like, that's something I've never thought of asking. And you just had the pleasure of being the first person to have to answer that question.
Yeah, and I think that'll be different with every breeder because, to use them again, Justin, for instance, if you've got 300 females, there's no reason why you can't give some a year off here and there. But when you're working with 55 females and you're trying to get 45 to 50 clutches a year, They all gotta go in. I mean, that's all there is to it.
That's very true.
Size of the collection matters. If you had 20 of them and you wanted 20 clutches, you're going to breed them all every year. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yep. All right. How about some genes that you think are a must in any collection?
Oh, man. Not avoiding recessives, first off, I would say anything with a really powerful pattern. I love black pastel. I think black pastel, if you have a good line of black pastel, it is huge to put that into whatever you can. Same with spot nose. I think spot nose is like a gateway for almost everything it touches. It takes almost any gene, especially anything that's a pattern mutation, and amps it up tenfold. Same, and that's why I like it with acid. Same way, acid confusion. Put it with pinstripe. If it can make it look super crazy, you got to have it. I mean, plain and simple. And I'm not a fan of pinstripe, but when I see it with stuff like that, with spot nose, with acid, black pastel, and with some of the acid or the pinstripe stuff, looks great. I think, especially if you're selling animals, you got to have banana or coral glow. They sell, plain and simple. They just sell. That's all there is to it. I can take 7 or 8 of my offshoots to a show. I'll always put like 2 on the table first, and they'll go away. That's all there is to it. Especially if they're priced right, they're gone. They're the first thing to go off table.
Well, they stand up.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have them. I think really, man, special is another gene that I think is so underrated. I think it deserves so much more than what it gets. That's a huge one. I think the biggest one, I guess it's easier to say, I like the idea of staying away from the blue-eyed Lucy complex. I don't see enough lesser butter, especially, but even Mojave, there's a lot of genes that I feel it just doesn't do anything for. If anything, it takes away too much. And if you get way too much of it in your collection, it is so hard to not make a all-white snake.
Yeah, that's the one big downfall I see with it.
Yeah, like this, we produced this male this year, which is Mojave butter scaleless head, and it could also have cinnamon in it. It could have, what else? It could have cinnamon. It could have gold blush. It could, I think it could even have, I want to say orange dream in it too. I mean, there's so much it could have in it. You'll never know. And all I can do is sell it as a Mojave butter scaleless head. So someone could potentially score a huge payday on this boy if they give him and he turns out to be something awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I would never want to do that with an acid. I would never want to do that with a hurricane. You know, what happens? I know someone who bred a hurricane and made a blue-eyed leucistic that could potentially be hurricane. And I'm like, whether the sex odds work out or not, if you're smart, you're stuck with that animal.
Yep.
At least till you can breed it. If it's a female, hopefully once and find out it's got hurricane in it. Otherwise, twice to kind of verify it doesn't. I mean, it's just, you don't want to wrap a lot of your big dollar genes into these, blue-eyed leucistic stuff, or a lot of yellow, like I said, with the acid highway stuff. Perfect example. I'm still pushing into a lot of yellow belly stuff because I have a lot of really good genes with my yellow belly stuff, but I could take away all of that potential if I keep making highways or ivories. So I think the biggest thing is pattern. Everybody wants a really good looking snake. Color's great and all, but if you have a really twisted up pattern animal, you can go the colorful route or you could go xanthic, and it's going to look amazing either way.
Yep.
So you got to have genes that just make a big impact in single gene form. And a great example of it. plain and simple.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And I know, like, back to the Mojave, the Bell complex stuff. Like, for me, I'm keeping all of my Bell stuff just to make bells. That's the only thing. Like, it's not really getting intertwined with a whole lot of other stuff other than like maybe GHI Mojave or lesser GHI stuff. But for the most part, all that stuff, it's just for bell purpose only. Just kind of as that consistent, the sustainability clutch, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and they'll all sell.
Yep.
All day long. Everybody wants a white snake. So they'll sell all day long. Just so you hope you don't have anything that could potentially be a $4,000 animal hiding inside of a $200 animal's body.
Yeah. Yep. I knew a guy that believe he was pairing some and it had a whole bunch of other genes into it. And I was like, dude, you might not want to do that pairing. And I was like, you're going to end up hitting bells and you're not going to know what's in them. I was like, and you're going to have to sell them as bells because you don't know what's in it. And like, I think he still went and did it, but it's like, oh man, because I believe there was like odium in the pairing with it, a whole bunch of other stuff, and it was nice stuff, and it's just like, oh, I would not have done that pairing. It's like, I would not have done that.
Yep, I've got one here. I'll grab it real quick. Perfect example is this girl right here. Come here. This is the only one in 2 years, thankfully. But this is from my acid highway. And I made an ivory. It's the only one I've made. And of course, just like all the highways, it's a female. So now I have to sit on this girl for 2 years, or I can potentially give away what really could be like a $3,000 or $4,000 animal, because this is the same one. It's in the same pairing as the other, so it could have spot nose, could have pastel, could have acid, and it's an ivory. And it looks just like an ivory. There's no difference in the head spotting or nothing. So I could take a risk and just sell it and say, oh, it's an ivory. But I could also breed this girl next year and potentially find out she's got acid, spot nose, and everything else in her. But this is what I'm trying to avoid, because you get too many of these in your racks and you got to decide, are you just going to take a loss and sell all these things or what?
That would be a very hard that'd be a hard decision to make there on that one.
Yeah, because I'm sitting on, well, I've got, like I said, I've got the three highways that I believe all have acid in them, and then the one ivory, and they're all females. So I have four tubs that are completely just sitting here growing up animals that I really don't know 100% what's in them.
Courtney says you should take the risk, sell them to her.
Sure. No problem.
Creative says he'll buy that ivory.
I'm sure. Even if it was just spot nose, they'll be worth more than I could really sell it for.
Yeah. Now there was a question Melinda asked, and I don't want to forget it. How much hatchling space do you need doing 50 clutches?
Oh man, see, that's tough because I know I don't have enough. You figure we average just shy of, I think last year our average was like 6.8 per clutch. Okay. So you figure 7 animals at 50 clutches, that's 350 tubs. I mean, you have to, in my opinion, you have to expect to sit on every single one of them. I think you're dumb if you don't. And I don't have that much space, but I do have a lot of PVC upstairs, and I've got a handful of tape that's sitting here that I can make racks if need be. And I also have the ability to buy some if I need to as well. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is you have to prepare to sit on every animal, and you have to, if you don't have the rack space, you have to have the money or the ability to build them as need be. Yep. And you got to figure every time you order one, you're waiting a month. So you got to look ahead. You know, I figure I like sea serpents for my hatching racks. and I'm figuring 4 to 6 weeks. So I look at my incubator today and I go, okay, these 4 are coming out this month. These 6 are coming out next month. So I count up all the babies, I think of all the eggs and go, all right, so I've got until like the second week of September. If I'm still sitting on babies, I need to order up 2 or 3 more racks.
Yep.
So it's always planning for every single one to be sitting in your rack.
Yeah, I know. Or if you're like me and you end up holding back an awful lot of stuff because of being your first or second season.
Yep.
Now everything's starting to get big enough to where it's leaving the hatchling rack and it's starting to move up in size. So now I'm looking at my bigger size racks, thinking I need to add more tiers.
Yeah, and see, and that's the thing though. It's like for us, we knew where we wanted to go. 50 clutches was the max. Yeah. So we house. Let's see here. I got what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 32. I think I have exactly 63 tubs for breeders. And I'm not buying another level. That is that. So that's why I say at the beginning of the year, I have to look at everything I got, what I've been holding back for the last 2 years. And we really just have to look and say, this handful has to go because these ones are ready to move over. And you got to be willing to make that sacrifice. So we, so far this year, we have held back 2 animals.
Okay.
And I know of 2 more, maybe 3 more we're going to hold back that I'm waiting to shed. But that's it. Like last year, we held like 30 some animals back. Right now, we're sitting on like potentially 4.
I see. Last year, I held back, 5, 10, like 14 or 15 I held back last year. Now, this year, so far, I've held back 1, 2, 3. I've held back 4, possibly 5, because my wife yelled at me that I was thinking about selling the lesser GHI. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that one yet, but it's 4 or 5 that I'm holding back. I still have 1 more clutch to go yet.
Okay.
But then that one's also, that pairing was Bumblebee Clown to Pewter Lesser, or yeah, not Pewter Lesser, Pewter Leopard. So okay. I'm hoping if I hit a Leopard Het Clown male combo, that's staying for sure. But then basically everything after that might go. I'll have to see what the other combos are.
Nice.
But I had to sell some stuff this year, and I tried telling her that too. And she was like, but you're just getting rid of one of the coolest snakes out of that first clutch. I was like, but it's the most money maker out of that first clutch too. It's
yeah.
Like, so I'm torn now.
That's the tough part though, because some of these, like Jamie and I were already discussing, some of these are waiting to hatch or to shed. And it's like, man, we really would like to keep that animal, but it's like a $4,000 animal. There's got to be a point where you got to go, I need to make some decent money this year. I mean, the problem is, the funny part, it's weird how everything worked out. Every clutch so far up until this G-Stripe Clown clutch has pretty much all been for sale. Everything. It was like all the stuff we were just making for like selling purposes came in the first half of the year. If I go to the incubator right now, I'm looking at those tubs and I'm like, man, I could keep a bunch out of that. I keep a bunch out of that. I keep a bunch out of that. Everything is like heavy hitters from here on out. And it's like, now I got to start looking at tub space. Like they were asking how many tubs. I'm looking at going, depends how good the odds are, because I don't know.
Yep, exactly. Now, how big is your room, Dave?
Oh, what is this? It is, I think it's 12 by 13.
Okay, so your room's basically about the same size as mine then. I think mine is 12 by 14 or something like that.
Yeah, so
the opposite is bigger.
No, and it really isn't. It really is not. The opposite side of this room, this wall, my son stays in. There's a bedroom down here. Okay. And then, so what was it, December? Was it last year or whatever? So this is like the second year in this room. Jamie went to Florida for vacation over the Christmas holiday, and she left. I started cutting down walls and building stuff, and she came home and she's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "It's a steak room. Hey."
Surprise.
She's like, "I didn't think you were going to do it." I'm like, "Yep, I did it. It's done. That's all there is to it." So it's not huge, but it does exactly what I need and nothing more. I mean, so it's nice. It keeps me confined to only what I've set myself to do.
See, I thought 12 by 14 was going to be decent enough size for me. Then I started filling it with racks, and I started realizing rapidly this isn't going to be enough space for where I want to take it to. Because I've got the carpets too, and a big carpet female, she can have 20, maybe 30 babies, or 30, 20, 30 eggs, something like that. So that got me rapidly thinking, not only do they take up more space in general, but now I'm going to have to think about what am I going to be doing with 20, 30 babies. So luckily, there's another portion of the basement on the other side of this wall that was supposed to be the man cave. Well, that is now designated the future addition for the snake room. And once I get that built, I'm going to knock this middle wall down.
Yeah, see, I talked to Jamie about that. I said, it's our 19-year-old son just bought a house. So he literally just moved out yesterday. So my 15-year-old is who's going to move into this room next door. And I was like, hey, maybe we should just let him stay upstairs in his room, and we can, maybe we'll put all the females over there. And she's like, no, because if we do that, we'll have more racks. And I'm like, yeah, maybe not. I think the biggest, I don't know about for your room, but my biggest hindrance in here is my ceiling height.
Oh, yeah, I think because I did a drop ceiling solely because I have pipes still running, like water pipes running through actually overhead, because the sink's over in the back right corner. Or back, yeah. Anyway, it's in the back corner over there. But I need to have access to those pipes in case something starts leaking or whatever. So that was the whole purpose of putting the drop ceiling in. But then that took away like another 6-8 inches, something like that. I forget how we did it. I think it's like 6 inches. But it took away some more height that I need. I think I'm at like 7 foot maybe for a ceiling now.
Yeah, it's probably.
Just enough I can do a full ARS rack plus I think 1 tier.
Oh, see, I can't go that high.
Okay.
I mean, for my height, it works where it's at, but I really would like to go 2 or 3 levels higher. And I mean, if I'll move my camera here real quick. So I have my ventilation.
Okay.
It goes through my ceiling because this is just the basement. But you can see like the top of my racks. There's my hatching rack sit on top of my ARS 50, but that's like that right there. That's only 7 levels, and it's topped out. So I've got no room. I mean, my door is taller than my ceiling.
Yeah, I do. Okay, yeah.
So it's like I'm like super, super, the ceiling height, it restricts everything I want to do in here. When I built the room, I thought this would be plenty big enough. And the moment I put the first rack in here, I went, shoot.
Yeah.
I need like another wall. I should have built like an octagon room or something. It would have been great.
I feel you on that one. Courtney asks, how do you keep them warm in your basement? Our basement is always so cold.
I have a heater.
That one first, and I'll do mine.
Yeah, I've got a heater in mine. So we use an electric heater. It's hooked to a Herpstat, and I have the Pro. Matter of fact, it's hanging right above me. So it hangs in the middle of the room, and it just kicks on, and I keep my room at 78 degrees.
Okay. See, for the rest of my basement's pretty cool. My room, when I designed it, I probably did it overkill. If everybody knows I want to overkill all my outlets. But there's a whole story behind that. What's that?
So your outlets are awesome.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
I've got like 3 of them hanging from the ceiling, and I wish I had done them all hanging from the ceiling.
If I would have, I originally I had thought about the ceiling thing, but with having to do the drop ceiling, that kind of killed it for me with that idea. But for me, my walls are 6 inches thick. They're inch thick foam board on the outside, and then you have the 2x4. Anything against an exterior wall has fiberglass insulation. Then another half-inch foam board for on the inside, and then you have half-inch thick drywall. So
Okay.
it's like the walls are pretty freaking thick here. So that holds heat, humidity, everything in here absolutely fantastic. Like I have no extra heat going on in this room, and it's sitting at 80 degrees right now.
Jeez. If I could enclose my ceiling, I'd probably have a lot better heating in here. But because I can't, all the heat escapes. And then like for right now, we have the AC that kicks on. So the moment those vents start to get a little chilly, the heat kicks on and the humidifier kicks on because it obviously dries out the air in here.
Yep.
So a humidifier in here 24/7, 365. And yeah, it's the only way I can do it, especially being in Michigan. You know, when the winter hits, the humidifier's on all day, every day, along with the heater.
See, that's the only time I run into an issue here. Like in the one corner of the snake room, we have a sump pump. So that normally has a little bit of water in it at all times. So that helps me with the humidity in the room itself.
Okay.
It does stay at basically a pretty consistent 60% humidity. But in the wintertime, like you said, it gets cold. It starts drying out the air. Our primary source for heat in the wintertime, is a wood stove.
Okay.
The wood stove's just on the other side of the wall at the other end of the basement. So that really kills all the humidity in here. So I had to run a humidifier then at that point for in the room. But it's really nice though because it still helps me maintain that consistent heat. Really cold days, yeah, I got to run an electric heater still. And I know you've done a few videos on this, but if say your power goes out, I don't have to worry about having a generator for heat purposes just because I'll open up the door to the snake room, and all that heat from that wood stove is going to come in here and keep it exactly where it needs to be heat wise.
Oh man, you're lucky. If I'm down more than an hour or two, I gotta go turn on the generator and get some heat going in here.
I remember you doing a couple of videos on you having some power outages and all that stuff. I thought we were awesome videos because it's something a lot of people I don't think really think of.
Yeah, and you know, especially for us, we never seem to lose electricity unless it's for like days. I don't know why. In the wintertime, when we lose electricity, it's 2 or 3 days. It always seems like it is. In the summertime, if we lose it for any amount of time, it might be an hour here or there. But in the wintertime, ever since we started doing this, the first year we did it, we had everybody upstairs and we lost electricity for 3.5 days. And we heated, that was before we had a generator. We heated that room with a kerosene, like a fuel lamp.
Oh, okay.
And man, that was an awful 3 days. And after that, we said, nope, we're going to get a generator, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. I do know Beast Morphs just said about need generator for the incubator. That brings up a really good point because we've never had power outages that lasted a long time. Now we've had some that have lasted several hours here, but it seems like they haven't started to happen like that until I started breeding, and actually having clutches in the incubator.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they've gotten more and more frequent last year and this year. But I do need to get a small generator just so I can have that backup for the incubator, because there were 2 different times this year where we got notification. We were away. We got notifications that the power was out, and I just looked at my wife. It's like, we got to go home. I have to keep an eye on those temps, because if they dive too low for too long, it's like I'm gonna have to go run to my buddy's place, get a generator or something, just to get everything back on track. Now, the one thing I do that helps, I think, is I have bottles of water in my incubator on the bottom floor. So that
Okay.
way they help radiate some heat for a short time. If the power does go off, that kind of gives me that little bit of a buffer zone.
Okay. Yeah, we was it about a week ago? I think it was like a week ago. We lost electricity for about 2 hours, and
Okay.
I got a call from my son. He told me that the electricity went out, and it was like 2 hours later. I was leaving where I was at, and I called him, and he's like, "Nope, it just came on like 2 minutes ago." And I said, "Okay, well, can you go check the thermostat on the incubator?" And he comes back, he's like, "Yeah, it's right where it needs to be, 89.7." And I'm like, "Huh." Did not lose any heat out of that time or what? We just get lucky. But yeah, wintertime comes. If there's anything in that incubator, man, I have the extension cord plugged into my generator. I have like 4 gallons, 5 gallons of gasoline in there. I am ready to go. It is plugged in an instant. I mean, that's all there is to it.
No, yeah, because I remember you were, like you said, you have some really long power outages, and it's like, no.
Yeah, I think last year, we did a video, and Jamie and I were sitting down here because at that point in time, it was the warmest room in the house because we had the heater going in the snake room. And if I remember, I think she fell asleep down here for the night, and I think I ended up going upstairs because it was just too hot down here. And man, it was like, I think it was 2 days at that point in time. So I just tell everybody, you just got to be prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's part of the game. If you really want to get into this, you have it's in my opinion, it's just another part of equipment. You know, it's like a rack. It's like an incubator. It's just another part because if you lose an animal or you lose eggs, you lose profit, you lose money, you lose your time, you lose everything. Yep. So even if it's a small one, I think it's an investment everybody should have, especially if you're known to lose power.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I totally do. 80 says, what's the optimal incubator temp? I run mine at 90. I have my herb-stat set at 90, and that's it.
I do 89.7, and I only have thermometer just reads the air temp in the incubator itself. So okay. I don't know what the tubs exactly are. I don't really care. I just, when I go to cut my eggs, I look at the condition of the eggs. They don't look right, they'll sit in there longer. That's all there is to it. It also depends. Like for me, it's tough to say. Like I think right around 89 is about right, or 90 degrees is right. But when I get 30 clutches in there, man, some of those are not nearly as warm as the others. That's just all there is to it. If you have 2 clutches in there, they're all sitting right at whatever the temperature of the incubator is.
Yep. The other thing is when you get that many clutches, because they start themselves generating a little bit of heat as well. So you're going to have to, my number will change a little bit here and there just because of that factor, once I start filling the incubator up more.
Right. Yeah. And then we also go through, like anytime we move a clutch, we cycle the whole rack through, everybody gets moved back up higher into the incubator. So my clutches are shuffling like right now because we have a lot of animals that are coming out. I'm shuffling clutches daily. They're coming up off the bottom shelves, going up higher through the incubator, getting better temperatures. But it really just comes down to, I try and keep it consistent. And then I just, if push comes shove, I just wait till they pip if I have to. I mean, if I'm just not sure what they're looking like, I'll just wait till they pip.
Creative. I'm using a herb-stat 1 for my incubator.
Yeah, so am I.
Okay.
Yep. We've got two 12-inch heat strips that go from the top of the back wall all the way to the bottom, and then I just have the probe hanging in the middle of the incubator.
Okay. That's basically how I have mine. On mine, it's 12-inch strip going down one side, across the bottom, and up the other. And then I've got a fan mounted there in the middle on the top, but I'm going to have to upgrade my fan size, just preparing for more clutches in there. just to give it a little bit better airflow. But normally by day 55, I mean, they're pipping. So
Yeah.
it's been consistent. It's been a great incubator. So I don't really want to screw around with it a whole lot. It is an old Coke fridge that I converted, but this is season number 2 and everything's worked very, very well with it. So I don't want to screw with it too much, but I am going to have to upgrade the fan size or just add a second fan.
Are you using the fan that's built into the cooler?
No, I completely stripped everything out of it. It almost looks like, I don't want to say a computer fan, and I guess it might be exactly what it is, but it's like a 6-inch fan, I think.
Okay.
I think it's about a 6-inch fan.
Yeah, I'm using the one that was in the cooler to begin with. Mine's just a double door Coke cooler, and I turned off the fan. Everybody said it was going to generate heat, but since my thermostat's set up to monitor the air temp anyways, I figured it wouldn't matter. And so far, it's working great. This is the second year, so I'm not messing with it. I'll just let it do its thing.
Yep. Grieve also says, I was wondering about thermometers. Do you put them on the levels or in the boxes? I don't even use I mean, I have one thermometer, it's not even a thermometer. It's just a sensor thing to go to my thermometer I have sitting out here. But that's the only thing I have. It's just sitting on a shelf. Everything, I just have my probe in the middle of the incubator controlling all of that. But I mean, I just kind of look over at my little thermometer thing over here, digital. As long as that temp's close to, normally it's spot on with what the herb set at. So
yeah, we use sensor push.
Okay.
Well, I've got 2 of them, one in the top of the incubator on the rack and one on the bottom in the rack. And the only reason I got it is because when I go on vacation, every once in a while, I get the EBGBs and I got to look at my phone and make sure everything's good. I can never, I always tell my kids, like if they're watching the house or watching the dogs, I'm like, don't go in a snake room. Everybody's all set. You don't have to touch the incubator. Don't do anything. So on the flip side of that, they wouldn't notice if anything went wrong either. So that's why I got the sensor push, just for my own comfort. I can look and go, oh, I need to make a phone call.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I have thought about getting sensor push for. Is just for that.
Yeah, just when I'm out of the house.
Because my wife, she's a stay-at-home mom. So if I would get a notification, I could be like, hey, you got to go downstairs real quick and do this, that, or the other.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Other than that, I don't read the temperatures in the boxes. I just don't mess with it. I think all this for me comes back to I used to be huge into aquariums, and the best thing I tell everybody is the less you touch it, the better it is.
Yep.
Consistency. Everybody's worried about their water parameters and this and that. If your snakes are healthy, if you've got what you think's enough humidity in your room or whatever, just leave it. Yep. Stop messing with it, because they'll get used to it or they won't. And if they don't, the collection as a whole does not. You need to adjust that. But if the collection as a whole is doing okay, they're breeding, feeding, shedding, etc., leave it alone. Just don't touch it.
Yep. I completely agree with that. Hensler, they got a Herpstat 1 for their incubator, but can't figure out how to work it. And they got a VE300 off of a guy. Wasn't no problem to figure out. If you need help with your Herpstat, Hensler, hit me up once and I can help you out with that, because I've set up all of the ones that are in here and they work good for me.
Yeah, same here.
All right, let's see here. Okay. All right. I found my spot now. What are some of the genes you think are underrated? And you can go with dominants, codoms, recessives, any of it.
Oh man, underrated genes. Well, like I said earlier, I think special is one of them for sure. I think Canova is definitely showing how the power of special gene with a lot of different combos. But I think special does a lot and it needs a lot more attention. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. It's tough because I don't work a lot of different genes, and I think I think the things that people like for instance, lace, I'd say it's underrated, but I think Justin has given its due diligence, and anybody that follows him knows that it's a good gene. For me, a really good, high-quality calico is underrated. If you got a calico that's white and not orange, like I've had orange calicos where they kind of just like bleed all the color out of like the tail or the alien heads. I don't really care for that. But if you can get that sugar or whatever you want to call it, it's really, really, really nice. Oh man, it's a tough one. I don't know. Bamboo is really nice. I know for a few years there it was doing really well, and then like I don't hear anybody talking about the gene anymore. But
I don't even see it really anymore. I used to see it a little bit at shows, but it seems like it's less and less every year. It's like, where has it gone?
Yeah, well, if it's anything like mine, it's because no one can produce it. I've got another female super pastel bamboo blackhead. I've had her since 2019. She's never given me a clutch.
Okay.
So this also is her third season, and as of the 9th of this month, she was at 10 millimeters, just sitting there, not doing anything. Well, this might be going on year 4 with nothing out of her. I'll show you her though. She's remarkable. She's also very feisty.
Oh wow.
Her head is like green. I mean,
all right, you're gonna laugh. You want to know what color that looks like to me?
What colors look like?
It looks like it's like flame yellow.
yeah, yellowish green. I guess yellow is good. It's yellow. It's kind of greenish. I mean, it's really weird. But so she's blackhead, super pastel, and bamboo. And I have tried different males with her. I mean, she's nice and thick. She's healthy, and she loves to lock with boys. But man, she can't. She won't grow follicles for nothing.
That's so weird.
And I'm just like, look, you got to give me some girls here because there's a lot of potential packed in this thing.
Oh yeah, I love how it's got like the nice white patches up in the alien heads. That's just absolutely beautiful. Mark says she's beautiful too. Creative says, look at that head.
Yeah, I know. It's like the coolest thing ever. And I don't know if what's causing that. I'm not sure if that's the interaction between the super pastel and the bamboo, because you wouldn't think blackhead would do that. But yeah. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do next year, I think we're just going to put our sunset to it. You know, coral glow lesser to that. Only problem is then you start getting lesser bamboos, which are about. So then, okay, everything will be het sunset, but you could miss, you got blackhead in there. You know, everything's going to be pastel. You don't know if you're going to have coral glow. I mean, it's just it's such a mess. I don't know what to do.
The darn white snake curse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that's the problem with like having that male, that sunset male, because he's got lesser in him. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to put anything to that can make white snakes because I don't want to make any white sunsets. I mean, that just it defeats the purpose.
Yeah. See you later, Chris. Thanks for all the support, brother. Appreciate it. And I'll make sure to send that little thing, the ad here to you this week, since I just got to get it edited. But I think you'll really like it. Mark says, how many grams is that the female you just had out?
Last I checked, I think she was like 2,400 grams.
Okay. I said she looked like a big girl.
She's solid. She is solid. Yeah, I just don't know why she won't breed. I don't know.
That's odd. It's funny, but it's odd. I mean, I'd be frustrated, but snakes will do what they do, I guess.
Yep. Another underrated gene, and I don't know if it's necessarily underrated, but I just don't think enough people work it, is genetic stripe. I mean, especially now with the clown genetic stripe stuff, it's just amazing. The thing with it is you got to work color because the sides are always so blown out. I've yet to find a pattern that'll stick unless you got clown with it. It does stick. But that's why I pushed the lorry into that project, because the lorry is so heavy of a pattern that I'm hoping it can kind of fight against that interaction and keep a little bit of pattern, or at least give you something on the sides to play with.
Yeah, that makes sense with how you're thinking it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, genetic stripe definitely is pretty dominant itself. So hopefully this year we'll make some, and then I'll be able to figure out what we can do from there.
B says champagne. I do like champagne combos. Champagne combos are beautiful.
I think champagne is great with leopard, and then stack it from there. Yeah. But you got to have, again, it's one of those things where you got to have a nice, powerful pattern gene to go with it to over influence the champagne. So I would love to see champagne with hurricane, something like that, where it's really powerful gene. Maybe a really good black pastel would probably look good as well. Okay. But spot nose would probably look really good with it. But you can't do that. That's right. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that because of that. I like champagne, leopard, and cheese. And then if you throw a hypo into that, make that a mimosa. I think because then you get you're bringing in, all right, everybody, from what I see anyway, you start bringing in purples.
Yeah.
So they're just phenomenal looking snakes, I think.
That is the one that I was talking about earlier, that the sunset is the fourth male. It's to our hypo Enchi champagne hypo.
Oh, it's nice. So
I was hoping, we get champagne, Enchi. Actually, I'd care less about the Enchi, but champagne, coral glow, sunset, and all that built in together. I'd like to see how that interaction will work as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the same girl. So she's on year 3 of not giving us anything either.
Oh man. That would be rough.
Yeah. But that would see if we could do that with the sunset boy, that would work double hets then, because she's hypo. He's sunset. So I figured we can get some really cool stuff, and it'll all be double het sunset hypo.
See, so that's
it'd be a great way to move that project.
Yeah. Kevin says, did we talk about tri-stripe yet? We didn't really talk about it, Kevin. So let's talk about it, Dave.
Let's talk about tri-stripe.
Or show tri-stripes. I'll put you back on the big screen. Show tri-stripes or talk about tri-stripes. Because I really don't know a whole lot about.
Okay, so our history with tri-stripe. Last year was the first year. This one's amazing. I wish I'd get you a good view of it. So last year 2 years ago, I'm trying to remember here. I can look right here actually. In 2020, we purchased a male albino het tri-stripe, a female albino het tri-stripe, and a female het tri-stripe pos het albino.
Okay.
We got them all up to size. It's funny. They are all like 7 years old. We got them from Rich Macias, I think is his name. Bloodlines over, I think he's in Utah. These girls showed up and they're like 7 years old. And they weighed like 500 grams, 600 grams. They're tiny. And
how does that even happen?
Yeah. I think that's the thing is he works tri-stripe so much that when he gets these, he just lets them sit in his rack and he feeds them, probably weekly or bi-weekly or every 3 weeks or whatever. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we paired that male to both females last year, and the albino het female did not go. She reabsorbed. The het albino or het tri-stripe pos het albino did go, and she proved to be double het, which is a win for us. We were glad. And we got a tri-stripe out of it, an albino tri-stripe, and it would eat. It would like It would eat anytime you fed it. It loved food, but it would regurgitate every single meal.
What?
Yep. And I got to the point where I noticed that its body looked like it was taking on moisture, like water. So it was swollen.
Yeah.
And if you took the animal and you held it up to the light, you could see through it. It was almost translucent. And you could see, like, in its chest area, I'm assuming it's the chest area, there was a black bulge in the middle of it. So I don't know if it was like a twisted stomach or enlarged heart or what. I have no idea. I don't know the anatomy enough of a snake to tell you. But it lasted, I bet it lasted 6 months and it finally died. Don't know. We did multiple videos on it last year that are up on our YouTube page. We've been trying to track this this project down because you don't see a lot of adult tri-stripes.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me, I guess there's some voodoo behind these. I guess a lot of people say they don't make it to adulthood. And I didn't know that. And I asked Rich, and he's like, that is false. We got plenty of them. He says, I don't sell them because this is really all I do. So I got plenty of them. And I'm like, okay. So we bred both of them this year. And the albino het tribe, she gave us a clutch. And we got 2 albino tri-stripes. We're selling one. We're keeping one. And then we got 2 albino possets because everything else albino. And then the other one's in the incubator. I love this. I think these things are so cool. My issue with it is I love the tri-stripe so much. I'm afraid to put it with other things and then ruin the pattern. So on Facebook, there's a tri-stripe group. There are a handful of people working tri-stripes, but anytime they put a pattern mutation with them, it takes the tri-stripe, it breaks the pattern up. It doesn't look as good. And it's almost like one of those things where if you like the striping like this,
that's really cool.
Yeah, you almost just have to work color and not work pattern because you're going to just distort all of this beautiful pattern. So this year it was making these. I'm hoping when the other clutch comes out, I hope we make some non-albino versions because I'd like to take a non-albino and hopefully I get a male and can actually put it to a bunch of color females. Orange Dream, Yellow Belly. It'd be nice to put it to like Blackhead. I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
Xanthic. I think Xanthic tri-stripes would look sweet.
Oh, yes.
So
thanks for tuning in, brother.
So that's, I think, where you got to take that, at least my opinion, you got to take that project that way is if you really want to keep that striping, you got to work the color side and kind of leave the pattern alone.
That makes sense, though. There are those genes where, adding more pattern to it or screwing up that pattern just takes away from everything.
Yep.
So, what's up, Mark? Thanks for tuning in, brother. All right, let's see here. Are you working with any other species other than ball pythons?
Yeah, so we have 3 spotted pythons. We have a male and 2 females. One of them is a granite version. And then we have Western hognoses. That's kind of Jamie's thing. She's doing all the Western hognose, which is funny because I bought one. I bought one back in 2020, and she was like not on board. We don't need it. Whatever. It's just a hognose. No big deal. And it's a super conda het xanthic. And I wasn't planning on breeding them, but I liked him. I thought he was really cool. And I wanted him. So I bought him. And then it was about.
Belly's awesome.
Yeah. You like that? It's a acid super conda. But she started playing with this little guy and looking at him. And all of a sudden she started looking online at different morphs they have over in like Europe and whatnot. And then she comes to me one day and she's like, I'm going to buy some hognoses. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, I found these ones over in Germany and this one in Sweden and this one here. And she started importing multiples. I mean, we've got, what do we got now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We got, I think, 14 of them. And
wow.
we were talking about going to Tinley, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to buy some more hognose, I think. I'm like, okay, whatever you want to do, dear. That's fine. I don't care. But, like, the majority of these are all from overseas. Like, she loves all the ones from overseas. So all these ones are, like, they either are het, double het, triple het, or double visual hets. I mean, we got everything when it comes to these things. Things I don't even know what they are. I look at them sometimes, she's feeding them, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. What is that? And she's like, oh, I told you, that's this. I'm like, that's really cool. I like it. I don't know what it is. So those will be focusing on, I think she might actually put a female or two into brumation this year, or hibernation this year, or whatever. So we'll hopefully be breeding a couple of those next year. The spotteds, we still got some time. They're still small. I mean, they stay small as it is, but they need a little bit more, probably another year or so before they'll be ready to breed.
Yeah.
But these things are really cool. I like them. But these are the only ones we're going to breed. We do have a false water cobra. We got that mainly for issues with hatchlings that don't make it or whatever. We have a gray banded king snake. That was the first one we bought for that purpose, but he's still basically a baby. So we got a couple of years before he'll be big enough to eat anything of any size. And then she has 2 giant Madagascar hognoses. I think it's a male female. I think she's talking about potentially trying to breed them. I don't know. And then I've got 1 Amazon tree boa. So a red calico Amazon tree boa. It's pretty cool.
All right, sweet. See, I know that's one thing I've thought about getting. For whatever reason, I have this obsession with California king snakes. I think they're really awesome looking. And I've thought about getting one just solely for, like you said, disposing of anything that just goes wrong baby-wise. I told my wife that idea. She wasn't too fond on that one. But it's like, it's better than having it go to waste.
Yeah. I mean, when we have them, we put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer. Dead already, ones that don't make it, obviously. And I've still got some from like last year. Every once in a while, I just go, hey, you look like you're hungry. And I grab one and thaw it out. And man, that girl goes to town. She loves eating snakes, let me tell you. And it's cool. She eats it like licorice, man, just all the way down to the end. It's kind of neat to watch. But, like you said, though, otherwise, what are you going to do? You going to throw in the garbage?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of a waste of life, in my opinion. I mean, may as well feed something with it.
I look at it as we put it in the situation to potentially not make it. So if that happens, let's pass it on to something else that could use the nutrition from it. So
exactly, I totally agree. Mark asks, how accurately can you tell het influence in tri-stripe?
I would say unless I really would say probably not. Unless it's really, really patterned. Like you've got, I'm trying to remember this one. I sold one. I've got one here. It's a pos het. So like this one, for instance, if I can get the camera to show it, if you look at the first quarter of the snake, it's got a lot of striping in the top there.
Yeah.
Coming down the dorsal. I would say this is probably a pretty good example of where you might say that's a pretty good chance it's going to prove out tri-stripe. But if you look at all of the hets, the father and the 2 females, they look like normals or normal albinos. There's no striping at all in them whatsoever. So, and there's also a problem with, I'll show you this other one, the one I have for sale. I reached out to Mark to verify this was actually a tri-stripe because it's like 2/4 of it is striped. I don't know if you can see that or not. So you got striping along the neck.
Yeah.
And around the top there. But then when you get like halfway down, besides the dragged alien heads here, you wouldn't tell it's tri-stripe.
No,
so I reached out to Rich and I said, hey, is this a tri-stripe or is this a het? And he's like, nope, that is definitely a tri-stripe, 100%. However, when I get animals like that, I sell them at a reduced price because genetically it's as powerful, but like the one I was holding earlier, the one I'm holding back, that whole animal from snoot to tail is all striped. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to pay $4,000 for this when I could pay $4,000 for that.
That makes sense.
I think we have this one up for like $2,500. Okay. So I mean, genetically, it's just as powerful. It's going to give you double hets if you put it to a normal, but you're going to have something that sits in your rack that just it looks nice, but it's not as nice as a really good, powerful, good-looking animal.
Yeah, it's the polymorphism.
Yeah,
you have your good examples, your bad examples. I can't even darn it. I was going to use one of my second clutch as an example, but I can't even do that, or I spoil the egg cutting for everybody.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. All right, we're almost out of time, and we're almost through my list, which is really awesome. I think this is gonna be like perfect timing. I think. Has your YouTube channel impacted your business, and how has it impacted it?
I would say it has, and mainly because I'm not super active on social media. I spend a lot of time on Facebook. Okay. We have a Facebook page, the Python's Clutch, that we put up and we run, and I try and do daily posts for like interaction with people. But I don't do like you guys put up some amazing Instagram stuff. All of you guys got amazing Instagram. You can run all the stories, and you can do, all the little TikTok slashes with them. I can't do that crap. I don't know. I'm just not savvy enough for it. So I look at all these videos people put up. What's his name? Geez, I'm drawing a blank now. It's getting late. I'm getting old, and it's getting a little late. Anyways, I see people put up stuff on Instagram all the time, videos along with their snakes, and they'll put up stuff for sale, and they'll do a cute little video with it. I can't do all that, so I don't try. I mean, actually, if you watch my YouTube videos, they're grainy. I mean, I don't do a lot of, I don't spend a lot of time trying to edit stuff. I just want people to see that, look, this is me. This is my collection. And if you buy it from me, here's my animals. You can go through every single video I post, and you could go back. I could tell you what video, when I posted it, of the animal you purchased. I think that helps a lot. I saw someone earlier say, that they put, they send like a genetic card or whatever, or certificate with their hets. I'm going to tell you the way it is. You want to know where that came from? Here's the video where I showed the animals that bred there. Here's the video that shows you the eggs when I cut them. Here's the video that show, so you can always look back at all my videos and tell where your animals came from. So that's where I think it impacted me the most with my business is I have a leg to stand on. We've been through a lot in 4 years. We've been sold a lot of fake hets, or at least a lot that haven't proved. This year we've had this double het albino pied girl that didn't prove out. That's supposed to be 100% double het 2 years in a row. She hasn't proved out. I don't want anybody to go through that crap. If you buy 100% het from me, whether it's a single het, triple het, quad, whatever, I want to be able to say, here are the dates of the videos. You can see the parents. Here's this. Here's that. It's more than a picture. Anybody could take a picture and say, here's the male that bred that clutch. Well, I got video proof of this stuff. I've got picture proof. I take pictures every year. I have a photo album in my phone. Every time there's a lock, I take a picture. And it's this year it says 22 breeding. And I can go back every year and say, here's where they locked together. That shows proof that those were made, for there. Then I could take you to the video when I pulled the female. I could say, here's a picture of the male and female together. Here's the video of me pulling the eggs off that same female. Here's the video where we cut the eggs, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. That's exactly how I think of it, too. It's perfect record keeping.
Yeah, it is. It's great record keeping. It's great to, I think, just to be just with your clientele base, plain and simple. Here I am in the black and white. There's no pretty backgrounds. There's no this. There's no that. I'm not amping up the colors. You're gonna see my videos as raw as they are. I'm just gonna give it to you the way it is, you know. And that's, I think there's something that goes with that, you know, and that's where I think it's helped me more than social media has. So yeah, I think it's done a lot. It hasn't grown substantially. I think I'm right around 1,900 subscribers.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I guess it's all right. I don't know. We're 4 years into it, but
that's still. I mean, heck, I was happy to hit 500, and then when I hit 1K, I was like ecstatic. I was
oh
over.
my gosh, I climbed the ceiling when I hit 1,000 subscribers. I was so happy. I did a dance and didn't record it, but I did. I swear, it was so exciting. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, 3 years it took, but it's finally here."
I was ecstatic to hit it. I think it was just a little over a year for me to hit 1K for mine. So I was like, I never even, when I started this whole thing, it wasn't remotely even to hit 1K. It was like you were saying, people could see me, they could put a face to the brand, and it was good record keeping. Plain and simple. I never planned of doing lives or anything like that. And here we are.
Yeah. You know, I think the best thing for me, I love it, is when I go to a show and somebody says, "Hey, you're that guy on YouTube, right? What is it? JD?" Yeah. I love that because no one knows me otherwise. Like I said, I'm not huge in social media. I don't post pictures of myself up all the time or anything. So it's kind of neat when people walk up to me like, "Hey, I've seen you before. What's you're on YouTube or something?" Like, yeah, I am. Here's all my animals. Want to buy one?
I had at the last show I was at there in Gettysburg at Battlefield Expo, I had a couple people come up and go, "Hey, Jeremy, it's really nice to meet you in person." I'm there like, "How do you know me?" Like, not like complete blonde moment. Did not think of YouTube at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, "Oh, well, we watch your YouTube channel and your lives all the time." I'm like, "Oh, shoot, that's cool."
Yeah.
this is the first time this is happening to me. This is a neat just a neat situation.
And you're like, "Wait, where do you live? You mean my video made it to you? That's awesome." Yeah, no, it's a great feeling. I love when people walk up there and are like, "Hey, Dave, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Who the heck are you? Why do you know my name?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, well, I saw you on Facebook, or I saw you on YouTube." Or, "Oh, okay, great. What's your name?" Because I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, the name thing starts playing game. Yeah. I screw names up real freaking quick.
Oh, it's so bad. I usually tell everybody when I see them, I'm like, "It's nice to meet you. Appreciate it. If I see you again, I won't remember your name, but I'll remember your face." Like, "Hey, you with the hair. What's up, man? I know where you are."
I always tell everybody, and whenever I meet them, if I know I'm going to be in a group with them for a little bit, I always tell them, like, "It's great to meet you. I will forget your name when I go to say your name again. So forgive me ahead of time."
Yeah.
It's like, until I'm around you enough, it does not stick.
Yeah. But no, I think it's benefited the business. Definitely. I think YouTube has, for sure.
I totally agree. Mark says he's having a hard time getting followers on YouTube. Dude, it is a grind. I'll have to even check to see. I don't know if I'm subbed to your channel or not. I'll have to check that out. I try to be subbed to everybody that supports me, but I'll have to check out to make sure I am. But it is a grind, dude. You'll have these spots where it's like you're getting several subs a day, and then it just like dies out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'll get waves. Like, I'll get 4 or 5 or 6 subs, and then I'll lose 4. And then all of a sudden I'll get 10 and I'll lose 6. It's like, what? Like, I've been sitting at 1997 for 3 weeks. I can never see it at 2000, but I know it's got to be going up and down. And
a lot of it, I think, like everybody was telling me warning me about, with hitting 1K, be ready because YouTube's going to go through all your subs and wean out any bots that are sitting in there or whatever. And honestly, it's like, oh, great. I'm all excited. I hit 1K. I'm going to lose like 100 subs here. And surprisingly, I didn't lose anything.
I think
So
I lost a couple, but that could have been just regular people dropping out too. But like
yeah,
right there at 1,000, I think I went. I think I went from like having 997 to like 1,005, and then it's like, okay, well now you've got monetized, and also it's like now you have 984 people. I'm like, holy crap, what happened? And then I got like 1,010. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do here.
but Mark, it will. It just takes time. Consistency is the big thing. Be consistent.
And
Like
stick
me,
with it.
yes. Like me, I upload every Wednesday. There's a video. Live stream every Sunday. Now, if I have to adjust the live stream to a Saturday, it is what it is. But I make sure that live stream's close to Sunday, and I make sure it gets out basically the same time schedule. It's just all part of the consistency. On shorts, I was throwing them out there once a week. I've really slacked on that. But shorts, I don't think really affect much of anything in the algorithm. It's just more of it does run a chance of boosting your subs.
Yeah.
Because it gets thrown out there a lot easier. I think it sees a lot more people than your normal videos.
I think the other thing you can do if you're not already is whenever you post a video, grab the link and throw it all over social media.
Yeah.
Put in your Instagram, put in your Facebook, any Facebook page, especially like I've got 3 different Michigan pages that I'm part of on Facebook. I drop them in there every time, so people can get a look at them. I need to do more shorts though as well. I'm with you on that one because I try and post a video. When we have content, I post Monday through Friday. I'll post a video every day, but I do not do videos on the weekend. That's my time to just do whatever. But I'm down here. I could at least do a couple shorts a day. I mean, it takes 60 seconds.
Yeah,
and I think they are huge for bringing in traffic. I don't think they're huge monetize wise.
Monetized, you can't be shorts aren't monetized at all.
Yeah, they are.
They are?
Yes.
They won't let me monetize any of my shorts.
If you're using the Studio app, you cannot monetize them from there. You have to go on the web browser and type in studio.youtube.com or whatever, and then go into that, and you can click on them and monetize them that way.
What the world? Or I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this part of my own video so I can walk myself through this.
Yep. So like you type in studio.youtube.com, and mine just says /channel/ and some stupid letters. But if you actually go to studio.youtube.com and sign in, I think you go to the bottom of the screen and click on monetize, and it'll show all your videos. Okay. And you can click on the lives, you can click on the shorts, and you can monetize them from right there.
Okay.
So, but you got to do them on there. You can't do them from the app. The Studio app, you can't even access them.
Okay. Because I even tried going to, let me see if I can't do it here real quick once. Because I go to this YouTube studio from my YouTube channel on the computer even. And content.
Yep. So I go channel content, and then the first one says videos.
And videos, live posts.
Yep. So I on videos, find one of your shorts. They should be on there. Like mine's the third one down. I did one for today's little thing. And then under monetize, you can click on that and monetize it.
See, when I click on it, it sends me to another screen. It says ads cannot be enabled for shorts that remix third-party content.
Do you have like music or something attached to it?
I bet it's because I have music on it.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't have any music in mine.
Okay.
So maybe that's why. But yeah, you have to do it from that screen, though. You can't do it from the app.
Okay, yeah. So far, every one I'm clicking on here, it's telling me no bueno. Let's go back to the whatever, like my original, like, because I had one short, and what got me caught on doing shorts was it must have went viral. It wasn't anything like fancy or out of this world. It was just my pastel yellow belly that I made last season, and it got like 6,000 views in a day. it was really out of this world. Let me see. Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. This I can't imagine has. All right, now see there it says monetization's on for it. Okay, so you're right. You can monetize them. You just can't put any music to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So usually I'll just turn it on and I'll open up a tub if say I've got like a pair that's locked together, and I'll just say, hey, look at this beautiful blah 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 paired with so and so. Can't wait to see them laying on eggs, and I post it up and I monetize it.
I'm gonna start doing that now, everybody. From now on, you don't get music.
Yeah,
music is the devil.
I don't want music. Actually, everybody told me on my videos, I took the music out of my videos because I kept getting people complaining they couldn't stand the music I was putting in my videos. They're like, this music sucks. I'm like, it's free music and it's something I can still be monetized with. And they're like, just take it out. I'm like, okay, basic it is.
Yeah.
So,
I know, like for me, I have that. Well, got this. Well, my intro and stuff, but I try to keep it short. So that way you still have a little bit of an intro, you get a little bit of music, but it's short, sweet, to the point. I know there's a lot of people that say that you're just better off just to dive right into the video and be done with it.
Yeah, I really need to redo my intro. I don't like it anymore, and it's too long. And it's just, I looked at the statistics in my videos, and it looks like a lot of people are skipping to like a minute in. There's when they're starting it, so they're just skipping the whole intro anyway. So
yeah, no, I was having that with my original intro, and my buddy too, which is big into YouTube, he was showing me the statistics of it. Excuse me, and after he showed me that, I was like, well, I still want an intro. I was like, but I'll shorten it.
Yep.
So let's see. B says, I'd rather have another avenue for someone to see something I have. They may want another reason for someone on Morph Market to have to trust their purchase. Very true. Very true.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I try to keep pricing out, but every once in a while, like once a month or so, if I've got hatchlings laying around, I'll do a video on YouTube of just like what's available, post up some animals and whatnot. I try not to directly use it for sale purposes, but I do think it's still another, like he said, another avenue to show off what you got that's available, because maybe someone didn't find it on Morph Market,
That's true. That's true. All right, I've got 2 more questions. We're at 11 o'clock. We're going to hit these 2, and then we're going to call it a night, folks.
Let's do it.
All right. What is something you would like to change in the hobby or industry?
Man. I think the first thing is we have to realize that we can't change anything because this hobby is built on people and we can't change everybody else. But with that being said, I wish we could find more professionalism and more people with the desire to want to be credible and stand behind what they do. Yes. I think that's the biggest thing. And again, that goes all the way back to like all the stuff I've been sold that isn't what it says it is. And it's not just one person. It's been a couple people. And, you just can't change that though. And you have to understand that it's the game we play. And if anything, it has definitely changed my eyes and my focus on who I will spend my money with. But really, besides that, I think we want to change too much. Everybody wants something to be different. I want everybody to have healthy animals. I want everybody to be mite free. I just worry about myself. I don't have enough time in my day to worry about everybody else. And I think if everybody worried more about what they're doing in their snake room and how they're sending out their animals and how they're representing themselves and their animals, I think in a whole, the hobby would change.
That's very well said, dude.
But everybody is so hell-bent on trying to look better than everybody else that it makes everybody look bad.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect example, like I'll go back into all these animals. Everybody always asks me, who'd you buy them from? I'm not telling you. It's not that I want you to get screwed, but it ain't worth it. One, it's going to give them a leg up, because if you never heard of them, you're going to look into them. And if they have an animal that you want, now I just help their business. And on the flip side of that, if you do business with them and you do business 3 or 4 times and you like them, then you're going to be like, well, that Dave guy gave you a bad rep. I don't want that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Everybody has to walk their own path. You're all going to step on shit from time to time. I mean, just try and worry about yourself and try and deal with the people that you feel you can trust. Pay the money for good stuff, and you should be okay. If you try and get the best deal, you're not going to get it. Trust me, one way or another, there's going to be something that'll fall through, whether it's the health of the animal, the quality of the animal, or the fact it isn't what it's supposed to be representative of. So, yeah, I would say don't change anything. Change yourself. Look inward, not outward.
Dude, that you just blew my mind away with that answer. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting, like, there were a couple different things I was thinking most people were probably going to say. That there was not one of them. That was freaking well said. Yes. Mark, be yourself. B says, right on, Dave. Mark says, good point, Dave. The other Mark says, well said. Yeah, that was very – damn, dude. Damn.
Hey, I want to deal with genuine people. That's it. I don't need to know about your personal life. I don't need to know about what you do behind doors. I want to see what you represent yourself when you're talking to me, the animals you sell me, the stuff you put on your table. That's what I'm here for. Be genuine. Again, I go back to like my YouTube videos. They're not flashy. I'm not trying to be flashy. Yep. This is what you get. I want you to see me. I want you to see my collection. I want you to see my wife. I want you to see my animals. Because this is what you're going to see when you see me at a show. You're not going to see all the glitz and glamour and the cool segues and all that. I'm going to be standing at a table with a beard and a gut, and that's me. I mean, whatever, you know. But we're going to have a good time. You're going to get some awesome animals because that's what I'm showing you, and that's what you're going to see. I mean,
yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Because I know several people have said this also, and I've always thought it too. When you're on YouTube, you know, you can put up a good show for 10 minutes, you know, however long your video is. You can put on a good show.
Yep.
Now, for live stream going 3 hours long, good luck putting on a good show for that long. But I'm sure someone can do it. But with that being said, this is one way that people get to really see that you are you, and that's all there is to it. This is what you get. I've you know, everybody that's met me, I hope they haven't been disappointed, because how I am here is what you see out in the real world. I mean, it's just how it is.
Yep.
You either like me or you hate me, one way or the other, but it is what it is.
Hey, we just all got to have fun together. And the end of this is supposed to be fun. I know it can be trying. I know it can be frustrating and everything, but if you're not enjoying it, just walk away. Like anything in life. If you're not enjoying it, walk away. If you're not enjoying the people you're surrounded with, don't surround yourself with those people. If you're dealing with people in this hobby that you don't think are good, walk away.
Yep.
Walk away. Worry about yourself, worry about your little circle, and deal with those people. And that's it. That's all you got to do. We can all help each other out. So it's a good thing, man. Just try and stay positive and don't worry about everybody else.
Well said, bro. Well said. All right, last question. Right? It's not even a question. This isn't really even a question. But can you give any new breeders or people new to the hobby any tips that you think are, you know, something that someone needs to hear?
Yes. I think I kind of look at things a little bit different than other people. You know, everybody feels like you have to do your time to be respected in this. And maybe that's true. I don't know. Maybe people don't respect me, whatever. All I've got to say to new people is, if this is what you really want to do, remember, 8 out of 12 months is cleaning shit, sitting in a hot room looking at snakes doing nothing, feeding, costing you money, and that's it. There's only 4 or 5 months of, if you got big enough collection, you get 3-4 months of eggs. The rest is all work. Yeah. Plain and simple. So if you have a full-time job, make sure you can dedicate at least, I try and tell people, like with this collection, I can go maybe every other day where I don't necessarily have to be in here if I don't want to, even though I am. Yeah. But if you can't afford 2 hours a day, 3 days a week or 4 days a week, don't do it. Just don't do it. Because it's going to be, every day you're going to sit there and think to yourself, why the hell am I doing this? I didn't hit the odds. I missed it. I did 4 clutches this year and didn't get anything I wanted. I mean, that shit happens.
Oh, yeah. It does. Yeah.
Do it because you want to. And it's okay to do it for money, too. I don't care. People don't like hearing it. No one wants to talk about it because for some reason, I think we've become a society that thinks that if you do anything to make a profit, it's a negative thing. I don't know why we've gone that way, but it doesn't have to be. Like I said in the beginning of this, you want to know if I care about it? Look in the tubs. Do they look good? Then shut up. Okay, they're fine. I'm doing what I need to do because I love taking care of them. I love doing this. But yes, I want to make money because it costs a lot of money. My electric bills are $300-$400 a month. Someone's got to pay for that. That's what these guys do. The gas bill is high. The rodent bill is high. The bedding expenses are high. The racks are expensive. I mean,
oh yeah, it all adds up. I mean,
buy good stuff. I don't care who you buy it from. If you're selling an animal, you don't have to be Justin Kobilka to buy only from him. You can buy from you. You can buy from me. You can buy from this person or that person. I tell everybody, if you're looking at an animal, look on Morph Market and look at either, if you can find the same thing, even better, but just look at the quality. Yep. Are you paying for the quality? If it looks as good or better than whatever else is out there, buy it. I don't care if it's you or Justin or Ozzy or me. They don't have to be in the business for 20 years to have good stuff. If they bought good stuff to begin with and go into a new person, if you buy good stuff to begin with, you'll produce good stuff. If you're going to spend the money, you're going to spend the time, you're going to be doing this for years, just start off in the beginning buying good stuff. Good racks, good thermostats, good at, if you're good at building nice incubator. Otherwise, buy a nice incubator. Build your collection and surround it with good quality animals. They'll always pay for themselves. They will, plain and simple.
Right. And it's quality breeds quality.
Yeah. And it's okay. And the other thing I think people need to know is it is okay to buy adults. I'm not saying your whole collection needs to start with adults. But if you want to buy an ARS rack, say you're going to buy a 5540 and you're going to buy 20 hatchlings and you're going to buy 10 adults, that's okay. That's all right. Get the ball started because you got to pay yourself back on this stuff sometime. You don't have to wait 3 years to put a little bit of money in your pocket. For some reason, that was what I was trying to say about the whole, you got to take your licks before you're accepted in the cluck. I don't believe that. You don't have to have 3-4 years in before you can be a responsible keeper or whatever. You can do this the right way, right from the get-go, and you can start off with a couple breeders your first year and make 2 or 3 clutches. That's okay.
I think that's a smart way. Like if I were to do starting out differently, I would start off with 1 or 2 breeder females just to get those 1 or 2 clutches under my belt. So that way, when I went and had my bigger valued clutches dropping, I knew what I was doing. I knew everything was proven. My technique worked. Because that was one thing that scared the hell out of me was my first clutch was my double het Exantic clown clutch, which I was originally planned it to not be that clutch, but it ended up being that clutch. And I was nervous as all hell. Like I'd check that incubator like for the first week is like at least 3 times a day just to make sure there's nothing goofy going on. I mean, I'd gave the incubator test runs for months, but is the fact of actually having those eggs in there, knowing what that clutch was. I was a nervous wreck for a little bit. Now after they hatched, my mind was calm and everything was good.
Yep.
But it was having those start off clutches would have saved a lot of headache.
Well, and the other thing I also think is I see a lot of people say, well, I want to get into this, but my first clutch, I don't want to risk anything, so I'm going to do a normal. Don't do that crap.
No.
If you're going to spend the time, the money, and then have to sit on these animals, freaking buy some animals and make some good stuff out of them. Even if it's your first clutch. If it's going to fail, it's going to fail regardless. You still have the parents. They didn't die in the incubator. The eggs went bad. Whatever. Do it again. But I hate when I see that. Well, my first clutch, I was so afraid, so I just bred my normal to a pastel. Why?
Yeah.
There was enough of that out there.
Yeah.
You want to be for your incubator with that clutch.
Yeah. I think, if I remember correctly, the first clutch I was planning on doing would have been stuff to make. Well, it actually would have been my clutch one of this year. It would have been to make bells and GHI combos and stuff like that. So I figured, that was the only non-recessive. Wait, no, that wasn't the only non-recessive pairing. So I had my banana GHI Mojave clutch too. But that one turned out fantastically awesome. Like I was ecstatic with that one. But yeah, I mean, even like my start off clutches would have been decent clutches. Because if you're like you said, if you're gonna do normal to normal, what was the point? Like all that time and effort, and even the snake's effort.
Yeah,
it's kind of, I don't want to say pointless, but essentially it kind of was.
And the way I look at it too is life. Doesn't matter if it's a 5 gene animal or a normal. They all deserve the same amount of respect when they go in the incubator. Yeah. So if you're just winging it, maybe you should wait and not breed that year. Maybe you should do a little more research ahead of time, because the first one that goes in, you should be expecting it to come out. That's all there is to it. I mean, if you're not sure and you're just like, oh, we'll see what happens, then maybe you should have waited a little longer in general. So just have fun. That's what I think everybody needs to do. They come into this, have fun, because it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. But if you're like me, Dave, like I work, my day starts at 5. I don't get home till 5, 6 o'clock some nights. Spend a little bit of time with the family, come in here after my daughter goes to bed. So I get down here anywhere between 8 to 10 o'clock, and then I don't go back to bed till 12. But when I come back down in here, it's like I get energized again. Just, pull open the tub, and it just supercharges me. I look over here at my carpet python that's staring me down, and it energizes me. I don't know what it is about them, but I get a bigger boost when I come down in here.
And that's the way it should be. I think the day you walk in your snake room and you're like, why am I doing this? You need to sit back for a second and go, wait a second. Why are you doing this? You shouldn't feel that way.
Exactly.
When I'm upstairs, I may do that. I might go, well, go downstairs and start cleaning some tubs. I'll see you in about an hour or so. But when I get down here, man, I either turn on YouTube or I turn on some music. I get my water jugs filled, and next thing you know, it's been 2 hours. I didn't even realize I'd been out there 2 hours. I go upstairs, and Jamie's like, are you done? I'm like, yeah, it ain't been that long. They're like, you've been down there like 2.5 hours. I'm like, huh. I don't know. I like videos while I was down there doing it, and everybody's clean. I'm happy.
A lot of times I'll throw on a live and do the same thing. Throw on a live stream that I need to catch up on and do some work down here, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's how you should feel. You walk up afterwards, and you're just like, wow, I've been out there that long? That's awesome. I knocked it out, and I'm good to go.
I mean, there's been, like, I have a window even down here. And there's been times I've been down in here, and, like, I'll go upstairs, and I'll be like, it's dark? When the hell did this happen? It's like I was so focused on doing everything down here, I never even bothered looking out the window.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's the way it should be. You don't ever want to find yourself, just not liking what you're doing.
Yeah.
So.
All right, folks, that is going to be it for tonight's episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I greatly appreciate everybody that's still here. We've got 22 people watching. So thank you, everybody, for staying with us tonight and joining us. If you've missed anything, you can always go back and rewatch what you missed. I just greatly appreciate all the support. Dave, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate your time. It was awesome having you on tonight, dude.
You'll never know how much it's meant to me. I appreciate you reaching out to me and giving me the opportunity. This is the second time I've ever been on anybody's show, or maybe a third. I don't know. It's been very few, though. And I'm over the moon. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
It was my pleasure, brother. My pleasure. And I don't know if it's true, but this is probably the longest live you've at least done.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think the other one was like 20 minutes, and the other one might have been 45 minutes. I don't know. I did one with Billy way, way back in the day when he started his whole YouTube content, my channel thing. I think that was like a half hour long or whatever. I don't know. That was probably the longest otherwise. But I figured this. I looked at your page ahead of time, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be a long one, but that's all right. As long as he can keep the flow going, I'm good, because I'm not super talkative, but I've had a blast.
I was going to say, I think it went really great tonight. I had a great time. I think the audience had a lot of great information thrown at them. I mean, and even got into some stuff that I haven't really talked about on the channel so far. So I'm really pleased with it, dude. Really pleased with it.
Thank you. And again, also, like you just said, thanks to the audience, because a lot of good questions, a lot of great thoughts.
Yep.
Appreciate the interaction. This has been great. I loved it. I love being able to see all of your questions and everything. That's amazing.
Well, I'm sure everybody will agree. I want to have you back on at some point. So we're going to do this again if you're game for it at some point here.
Heck yeah. Definitely.
All right. So just hang on here 1 second, Dave, while I shut this whole thing down. Everybody, again, thank you so much for the love and support. I greatly appreciate it. This week's video Wednesday should be, we just did clutch cutting at 1. So this week's video is part 2 of Danny from DTMG's facility tour. Make sure you catch that, because you're going to get to see some awesome hatchlings. And you get to see 2 of the snakes that I picked up from him in that video before I knew I was picking them up. So really awesome stuff there. Next week is our breeder roundtable, where we have Kai from Lucas Landon Royals, Adam from Proper Royals, and Steven and Courtney from Leviathan Snakes. We're all going to be sitting down. I still need to come up with all the topics we're going to go over, but if anybody knows me, I end up finding some really good topics here and there. And plus, I look forward to the audience having some good questions for all of us, since we're all going to be there to chime in. So make sure you guys don't miss that, because it's going to be a great episode as well. So that's going to be it, everybody. Make sure you guys go into the description, follow Dave and all of his social media. Definitely follow his YouTube channel, because it is great. I always enjoy his videos, and I think you'll enjoy them as well. And if by chance you're not subbed to me, make sure you hit that subscribe button for me as well. I greatly appreciate all the support. That's going to be a wrap. Good night, everybody. We'll catch you later.